has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay, things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
May is Small Business Month, and we're celebrating mountain businesses with AirVent Exteriors. Nominate your favorite small business today using the TalkBack feature on the iHeartRadio app. They could win a $250 Amazon gift card from AirVent, plus a $2,500 on-air schedule from iHeart Asheville.
AirVent Exteriors wants to thank you, our customers, for your support over the last 40 years. It's the support of our customers and other small businesses that made 40 years possible. Western North Carolina, and proud to support our Western North Carolina communities.
NC Department of Adult Corrections is hiring correctional officers statewide. Benefits include a $10,000 sign-on bonus, paid vacation, and health insurance. That's right, a $10,000 sign-on bonus, paid vacation, and health insurance. Explore a career in public safety and learn what it actually involves. Looking for dedicated people with integrity and compassion who are interested in a stable and rewarding career. Visit dac.nc.gov/cojobs. dac.nc.gov/cojobs.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. WIN. That's WIN. Enter it now.
Go to espnavl.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog eat! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat. I am coming to you live from the Ingalls studio. He is once again back at home, fully dressed, hopefully, in NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor.
Much more comfortable. Have the treasure trove of Monster drinks. I'm happier here. Frankly,
yes.
I have all the screens. I can see all the things. Apologies to the YouTube audience that did not see us yesterday. I just physically could not get back here in time to do the show on YouTube yesterday, so I was in studio yesterday.
Yes, and we've already got some people wanting to weigh in about the things that occurred on yesterday's program. As today is another day, another notch on the belt here in Prediction Week in the Sportsocracy. Yesterday we did the Easts, the AFC East, the NFC East. Jeremy made a very bold prediction about the Dallas Cowboys being not only the worst team in the division, but the worst team in the NFL, period, next year. That
schedule is awful. I mean, genuinely awful.
And David L. already in the YouTube comments said he'd be willing to make a hefty wager or a donation to the Mullet Beer Fund. The Dallas does not have the worst record at the end of the season. So, there you go. You going to take him up on that?
No. Look, the way we do these, we've done these the same way every year. So if this is your first year seeing this, the way we do this is we go into the NFL Predictor. You're only allowed the things that you can remember. So as time goes on, you do remember, oh, wait, they played a Monday night game last week. Those things are, but you can't look at the record. Mm-hmm. Then you get to the end and go, oh, my God, I had the Dallas Cowboys at 2-15. And that makes you look at the schedule and go, holy good God, their schedule's evil. Do I think the Cowboys are really going 2-15? No, probably not.
No.
Could they? Yeah, they could. That's how evil that actually is. Because, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I looked at it and went, we have the New York Giants. And who else are they supposed to beat? Because there's not a lot of them there.
So any of the hot takes here, you can obviously fire back on the social medias or, of course, on the YouTube stream. Of course, you have to subscribe to the channel to do so. We encourage you to do that. If you are not following ESPN Asheville on Facebook, not the new ESPN Asheville, but just ESPN Asheville on Facebook yet, I encourage you to do so, especially if you want to win some Braves tickets. We've got a couple of pairs of tickets for the Saturday game this Saturday in Atlanta against the San Diego Padres. And we'll be giving them out for just basically interaction with the Facebook page. We're looking for the best Mount Rushmores of Atlanta Braves players.
Mine was really simple. Hank Aaron, Chipper Jones, Greg Maddux, John Smoltz.
Okay. Greg Maddux. That's a great choice. It's a great choice. I couldn't leave Dale Murphy off. I wanted to. I wanted to have, Greg Maddux on there, but I didn't.
I can leave him off. You know why? Because he played when I was negative years old, and that makes it really easy for me to go, nope.
We should have really put Warren Spahn on there, but but I was born after Vietnam, so I don't have any recollection.
Look, I'm the young one of the show. Tank and I are only a few years apart in government age, but in real age, I am about 25 and he is about 85. So
I like Bill Workman. He's Chipper, and Chipper. How about that? We'll just mount Jones more. Wait, can you give Andrew a spot on there? Can you go Chipper, Andrew?
I think
Andrew deserves his credit in
for
the
sure.
Braves lexicon.
For sure.
No,
I do have a baseball story at the bottom of the hour that may shock and amaze you.
But yeah, we got Braves Padres tickets for Saturday in Atlanta. They are like digital tickets, so we can send them to you. So there's no worries you have to come up to the station before the weekend or anything.
Wish you had told me that before I put in the disclaimer that you had to pick those up before.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, that's not the case. We can get those to you very quickly. So yeah, go and interact with the ESPN Asheville Facebook page. I've shared it out. Jeremy shared it out. The Sportsocracy page has shared it out. It's easy to find, and you may be a winner to go see some baseball this weekend. We're also going to have Braves Red Sox tickets to give away for I don't know. I don't think it's next. Maybe it is next weekend. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe next weekend. Down in Atlanta.
You didn't take all of those for yourself?
I did not. I only took 2 for myself. And so we're gonna allow some listeners to go to that.
I saw those. Well. I saw those and went, I have a funny feeling that's never going to get mentioned, not one time.
No, we will share. If we had only gotten 1 pair, you would not have heard about it, because I would gladly have taken those. But yeah, anyway, stay tuned to the ESPN Asheville Facebook page for your chances to win this summer and beyond. Got a lot of cool Panther stuff that we're going to give away on the Facebook page as well in the run up to the NFL season. So stay tuned. All right, so Jeremy, today is another prediction day. Before we get into that, though, skip around the headlines here. I guess all of you who hate the touche-poosh are just going to have to, grin and bear it, at least for another year. Adam Schefter shortly before this program announcing or putting out there that the ban of the touche-push has failed.
But it's
what?
Getting closer.
Well, I guess it is. 22-10 was the vote on this.
Yeah, I got news for you. If the New York Jets didn't have Justin Fields as their coach, you'd have been 1 vote away. The others, I'm not really sure I understand why you voted. The Detroit Lions went with you on this. I don't think we have to worry about Jared Goff doing this ever.
No.
Ever.
No. 22-10 was the vote. They need 24 votes to pass the change. I did find it odd that the Green Bay Packers made the proposal, and last season, Philadelphia beat Green Bay 22-10. Adam Schefter shared that out, and I went, I love fun with numbers.
That is comical.
Right. The tush push is hanging around. Learn how to stop it, and you won't have this problem.
I hate that argument so much. I really do. I think that argument is so damn stupid.
Why?
Because it's not the stopping it we care about. I don't care if this play never worked ever. If Philadelphia, what the stat I saw, they were 88 for 100 last year when running it.
Yeah, something like that.
I could care less whether this works or not. I care that you found a loophole in the game. That's what I don't like. I like that this is broccoli, and that's the reason I'm so just adamantly against it, because it's so stupid. Gambit fan says I'm lying. No, I wouldn't. I swear to God I wouldn't care. I would not care. This feels like one of those little loopholes that you found that we close it now. If there was a loophole that you could grab a receiver 25 yards down the field, if your numbers were touching, I would hate that too. You just go down. This game is so simple, and I'm going to go on a little tirade just simply because Gambit said I'm lying, and I love Gambit to death. He's one of the great listeners of this show. But you did just spark me into something of, okay, I am old enough to remember when baseball and the NBA and college basketball and all the other sports were relevant. And now they're not. And you know why they're not? Because you forgot one very basic premise, which is this is a television show. It's a television show under the guise of sports. The only thing on the planet Earth that matters is, does anybody want to consume your product? When you have something that harms the television product, and if you tell me it doesn't, I'm going to go back to that game in the playoffs and say, hey, was that fun for you? Where we sat here for 8 minutes in a playoff game going, how many times are we going to do this? Because Philadelphia is not going to stop running it, and Frankie Louvu's not going to stop jumping over the center. So, I mean, we're pistols at dawn here, boys and girls. How long before we go, this is stupid? That's my problem. I don't care if it works. Frankly, every other team in the league that runs it, tries it, it doesn't work. I don't want them doing it either. It's dumb. This is like when baseball said, no, we're not going to let anybody that ever got named in the steroid thing, we're not going to let them in the Hall of Fame. What about the 40 you don't know about? It's stupid. At the end of the day, I'm anti-stupid, and this is stupid. The NBA. Hey, you remember when the NBA came up with this synthetic ball that was it was going to change basketball.
Oh, yeah.
And then they stuck with it for way too long, in spite of the fact it was slicker than owl excrement the minute sweat hit it.
Yep.
That's where the NFL's at right here. This is a stupid thing you're doing. All you have to do to not lose your market share is not do stupid things. Mm-hmm. This is a stupid thing. And 1 year from now, it will be done. Because I feel very sure we're going to do this again 1 year from now. And the vote was a lot closer this year. Because I think a lot of people are doing the same thing I am. A lot of people are doing the same thing I am. This doesn't look good on television. It's a television product. That's all that matters. That's where all of our money comes from.
Yeah.
So what happens next time when Washington goes, okay, you're going to have to put it on the board. You're going to have to give them a touchdown.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go ahead and tell you, it's coming. Washington winds up in that scenario again, they're going to tell Frankie Louvu, hey, just keep jumping. Mm-hmm. Just keep jumping.
And you can take the penalty if that's what you want to do. Go ahead and take the penalty. I get the points either way. I mean, I see this from the standpoint of Philadelphia. Okay, I've got a play here that I run better than anybody else. It's not against the rules. What's the big deal?
Oh, now look, I'm glad you said that way. I fully understand why Eagle fans are going, why would you ban it when we're the only one that can do it? I totally understand. The Bills, their efficacy on it is not that high. Even with Josh out, they were close. 2. It's percentage-wise, it's not. They're like 10% behind Philadelphia. I saw this yesterday, and Justin Fields was 3, and he's in like the 50s. Yeah, the efficacy of this is not as good as people think it is. I didn't realize that Philadelphia had failed 12 times.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And you know why I didn't know that? Because I don't care.
I think 4 of them were against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You got a tush-push stopper.
Oh, we
right
have
in the middle of your defense.
We just had a topic just fall in our laps. At the bottom of the hour, we're going to talk about our buddy, our guy, Trevor Sikkema.
Yeah.
Holy good lordy merskies. He put out his top 32 wide receivers, and if I gave you the next hour, I don't think you would get to who number 1 was.
In the next draft?
No. In the NFL. Yeah, in the NFL.
You got to be kidding me.
Nope, because it's not either one of those 2 LSU fellers that you think it is. I didn't know this. I saw somebody put it in the chat. I Googled it, and whoa, Twitter sides with me.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes.
As it should.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit.
Sorry, get there.
I didn't mean to.
That's fine.
I didn't mean to completely off rails the conversation here, but the look on my face, I felt like I had to tell people what created that look.
Yeah. So the tush push will live on, at least for another year. They didn't get enough votes at the Minneapolis owners meetings. That I guess they have adjourned. I don't know if they're taking up any other business today. They got some other things done as well. We'll talk about that in just a second. But first, we've got a super chat here from Red Sea.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Don't forget that you can super chat as well. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and everything that you super chat goes straight to the top of the board here. Red Sea says, find a way to stop it. Washington was doing that, and then the refs threatened to just award Philly points anyways. Hence, how we know that they can do that now.
That's a good point.
That's
a good point. Well, and see, but this is where people that aren't looking at this from a business, you're looking at it from just sports. You're not thinking about this. I'm going to draw a parallel, and I'm going to tell you that this came closer to happening than people think. So, what if I decided, because it's legal for a player to forward the motion of another player, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what if I decided that I was going to run the I formation? And I got my quarterback, and then I've got a little person as my fullback. And then I've got Desmond Watson playing running back. 470-pound defensive tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Mm-hmm.
I hand it to the fullback, and the running back picks him up and throws him over the line of scrimmage. Mike Leach literally considered doing it to the point of he was running it in practices. That's how close that came to happening. You can, according to that rule, you can. Because there's nothing illegal about it. You can pick them up off the ground. Nothing matters. You can forward their progress. So if you've got somebody small enough on your... you can disagree with me all you want to. Go read the damn rule. It was just posted on Twitter. There's nothing illegal about it. That's how stupid this actually is. Because as long as what I just said is... or as long as the tush push is legal, what I just said is also legal. Mm-hmm. You see how stupid that sounds when I say it? It's the same premise. It's the exact same premise. The exact same premise.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody wants to watch that. Oh, by the way, Google Mike Leach and that word that I'm not allowed to say. Enjoy your afternoon.
And the word you're not allowed.
Mm-hmm. The word for little person that I'm not allowed to say.
Yeah.
Google that and just go bask yourself in the era of 2016.
Oh, geez. Yeah, see, breaking the rules to jump off sides is not stopping the play. That's why they kept doing that to Frankie Louvu. because he was breaking the rules, trying to stop illegal play. And if you keep doing it over and over again, of course the end result is going to be, okay, well, if you're just not going to play, the only other option they have is to kick him off the field.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to play by the rules, then I have no other recourse here.
And the argument that people like me have is that this play was illegal for a good long time, and there was a good reason why.
Sure.
There was a good reason why.
It's been 20 years, and finally somebody figured out, oh, wait, I can't pull the guy into the end zone. But I can push him.
Mm-hmm. And it's dumb.
And it works. And it works better than anybody else can do it.
And it's dumb.
And everybody's mad about it.
And it's dumb. And when when the next Frankie Louvu jumps up over the huddle and lands on his head, let's we'll rehash this discussion. Or maybe you could just get in front of it and stop doing dumb things.
Well, they're not going to do that.
They're going to 1 year from now.
Quite honest.
You missed it by 2 votes. We're close. We have another super chat before we go on the commercial break here.
All right.
Comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
It's from Great North Sports, our resident Canadan partner. So the Patriots released their off-season video series outlining their off-season. In 4 days, it has 406,000 views. The NFL is king. That's actually almost more than a baseball story I'm going to talk about in just a little bit. That's the point. That's the whole point. You get factored into these, well, you just can't stop it. No, dog, I don't. I'm doing the same thing I did with baseball, the same thing I did with the NBA, the same thing I did with college basketball. You keep making these stupid little decisions, they can wear your listenership or your listenership, your viewership, however you want to put it. It can erode you. Always remember, I'm going to say the same thing about the NFL that I said about, I don't even remember what we were talking about yesterday. About Philadelphia. You're very good, and right now you're at the top of the mountain. Mm-hmm. You're not inevitable. It is not inevitable that the NFL is going to be king forever. Just remember that. When you make stupid little decisions because in a vacuum, just as okay. Yeah, wait until the guy jumps over the line trying to hit the quarterback, lands on their head. Now we can't jump anymore. And now we're having the same argument that we had in college football for 6 years about targeting. Mm-hmm. Did you notice that didn't get called as much last year? You want to know why? And I can tell you point blank. No, because the viewership went down.
Right.
TV numbers went down. Number one thing people were saying is we're getting tired of watching targeting, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
And people stopped watching. Not a lot, but enough. And they went, okay, we're going to stop doing that now.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. More about the Minneapolis meetings, the owners' meetings. They did decide some other things while they were up there. We'll talk about those after the break.
Are you a
Clear
CEO or responsible
Thank you.
for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new.
David L. said he wants a Sportsocracy shirt that just says clear. Thank you, with the show logo on it. I think it's brilliant.
Radio, podcasting, and social.
Would you put clear on the front and thank you on the back?
Clear on the front, and then on the back it should say thank you.
That's what I thought. I'm glad you. That was what I was saying when you said that. We were saying the exact same thing.
Got you covered for the summer. Hit play on the perfect.
I think that's brilliant.
Like summer classics. Road tripping with commercial-free weekends on Smells Like the 90s. Or zone out in the shade with a good podcast. Your summer soundtrack is already in your pocket with the free iHeartRadio app. Find your next summer preset now.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
Looking for something fresh on Thursday nights? Join us at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue for WTF Thursdays. That's Women to the Front, a new live music series spotlighting incredible solo female artists. Every Thursday from 6:30 till 8:30 p.m. in partnership with WTF Fest, we're bringing powerful performances and good vibes to the stage. It's free, it's fun, and it's all about supporting women in music. WTF Thursdays at Bear Smokehouse Barbecue, downtown Asheville.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
And
we're the Chainsaw Brothers.
Actually, we're cousins. A few days after Helene, we was in the driveway having a couple beers, waiting on the power to come back on. And we heard so many people calling, needing trees removed, and couldn't afford it.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next few months, we cleared trees for our neighbors. Our business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo!
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Kai?
It is ESPN Asheville. It is the Sportsocracy. I'm feeling much more chipper right now than I thought I would after going out to the Sturgill Simpson concert last night. That was...
How much sleep did you get last night?
That was an amazing show. That dude puts on a hell of a show. I will say this, though. I was kind of put off by the fact that he never said words to the crowd. I mean, like, he sang... But at no point did he ever, like, come out on stage and go, hey, I'm Sturgill Simpson. It's great to be in Asheville. I love this town. You know, the little banter that they do in between songs. He did none of it. He never said a single word. It was constant notes the entire time, which is awesome. I like that. But I did find it a little weird. Like, there would be moments where the band would stop playing to switch guitars or whatever, and no one said a word.
I'm perfectly okay with that.
I thought it was odd.
I've seen Sturgill before, but I'm perfectly fine with that.
Did he do that when you saw him?
I don't remember it specifically. I don't remember it specifically, but okay. I don't remember him talking for what it's worth.
Yeah, I did. Look.
You know what?
I'm not a huge Sturgill Simpson fan. Like, I know of his music, but I don't know. I didn't really know what he looked like or anything like that. I mean, other than like album covers. So when the guy came out on the stage, I thought opening band first because it looked like a little setup, and like I was like, okay, what's happening right now? And then he started singing, and I went, oh, well, that's Sturgill Simpson. Awesome. And then he played solid for 3 hours, I imagine. We left probably right before 10 o'clock. I couldn't hang any longer after that. But it was a great show. It's a great show. He's doing another one tonight, I believe, downtown. So if you don't have tickets, you should get tickets and go. It's worth it.
To your point of the he didn't say anything. There's nothing that I hate more, and especially when we do the Asheville Greenville thing. I don't know if you've ever done that before, where you see a guy in Asheville, the next night they're in Greenville. I lived in Greenville for a long time.
Right.
I absolutely despise when a guy comes out one night and goes, Asheville, my favorite city, the whole wide world, love it, you're the best. And then the next night, they go, Greenville, my favorite city. You got a whole lot of favorite cities, bro. Right. And these two could not be more different. So, okay. Yeah, I don't need any of that. Just Play the song the songies. That's what I need.
Play the songs and let's get on with it.
Yeah.
I can see that. I can see, because you can go down the other path as well. You end up going to a Bruce Springsteen concert and wind up at a Democracy Now! Concert. I'm not interested.
100%.
Out.
If you told me that you could give me free tickets to a Bruce Springsteen concert, or you would give me a free colonoscopy, I would choose the latter. At least then I don't have to mess with my insurance.
Oh, wait, too.
It
might be more entertaining.
For sure. I hated Bruce Springsteen 5 years ago.
Already.
I hate him now. Like, dude, you are the most clueless individual. I don't care whether we agree on politics or not. Right. Shut up.
See, I do like it Sturgill's way better.
For sure.
We don't need to know each other. You like the music, I'm gonna play you the music. We don't need to talk. I'll just leave. I'll give you what you came for and leave. All right. So the other things that were decided at the owners' meetings, apparently the Lions pulled the proposal for the playoff reseeding thing, which I guess that's just not getting support. I still can't figure out why. Right, like, see, that's the dumb thing. I'm more ticked off about that than I am anything else that the NFL is talking about right now. Like, I couldn't care less about the tush push, and maybe that's because my team's got a weapon to stop it. So it doesn't really affect me all that much. Maybe that's why I'm not trying to ban it like everybody else. But the whole, and as a fan of a team that takes advantage of, we win the division, we get a home game, I've never been okay with it. The reseeding of the playoffs thing, that should be the thing that everybody's up in arms about, not the tush push. But anyway, the Lions, they didn't get the votes apparently, and they withdrew their proposal before it could be voted on by the owners. And then flag football in the Olympics. They have decided they are going to allow the NFL players to participate. However, there are some catches. And the one I like the most is somehow only one per team. I don't know how you're going to legislate that inside your building, because I feel like that's going to create an issue.
Okay, what team has two guys that you would really want on this thing?
T. Higgins, Jamar Chase.
T. Higgins would never in a million years make it. 20 guys would have to say no before T. Higgins got called. I mean, honestly. All right, so just I'm looking at a list here.
CeeDee Lamb and Micah Parsons.
What good does Micah Parsons do? You can't rush passers.
Yeah, you can. You have one designated rusher on every play.
Yeah, you can. But if I'm choosing one or the other, it's CD, and I'm not thinking twice. I can't remember now. I want to say it was PFF, but I could be wrong. Mm-hmm. Some group did their ultimate NFL flag football team, and it made a lot of sense. Because for this, I would actually rather have Andrew Van Ginkel than Micah Parsons.
Okay.
He's better dropping and rushing. Because you got to remember, everybody's got to be able to do two things. So yeah, I saw that rule and it didn't faze me. Now the only place it could be an issue,
you don't have to play Iron Man.
No, they don't. You're missing.
You get 5 on offense, 5 on defense.
I'm aware of that. I played flag football for quite some time.
Okay.
That's not the point I'm trying to make. What I'm saying is that you have to be able to do two things. It's not just, hey, this is your designated rusher, and he's going to rush on every single play. So I need somebody that's a little bit more multiple. Where it could become a problem is, let's say Micah really wants to play and CD doesn't, then it could, I guess, cause animus between them. But I don't care. To be frank, I think it's funny we're doing flag football in the Olympics.
Why?
I can't wait to see. Oh, let me think of the most random. Denmark, the U.S. That will be 276 to nothing.
For now, probably.
Forever and for always.
Hey, we said that about basketball, too. Once the NBA players started playing, we went, hey, this is going to be the way it is now.
And it was.
It hadn't been that way.
It was until America basically said, hey, if you're a really good young athlete, you should go play in the NFL. And all the basketball players started coming from Lithuania and Serbia. Yeah, weird they caught up to. I don't foresee that happening in the NFL anytime soon.
You never know. Never know. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville. Your mountain weather.
Clear.
Thank you.
Flipped it around now. The wet weather from overnight well east of us. The front through low humidity.
Now I feel like I have to say thank you every time you say clear.
Beautiful blue sky and comfortable, close to 80. Tonight, 55, mainly clear. We'll keep that breeze around. Thursday, breezy sunshine, clouds, and maybe a shower, thunder shower. Really not expecting all-day rain, if even a lot at all. And then Friday, sun's back, and we're even cooler. Highs will only be in the mid-60s with lows in the low to mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Wondering what a personal message with your credit card number has in common with way too many pictures of your dog? Well, they're both private. Because on WhatsApp, your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even us. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone.
Out here, you'll find a community of hardworking creators with loyal followers, along with proud moments worth sharing. And farm to table, well, that's just supper. And whether it's a raised garden bed, acres of land, or something for your animals, we've got all the supplies and are happy to share a little know-how.
Welcome to Tractor Supply. Into life out here.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app in your phone today.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination.
We'll split this segment between, we'll do outside, then we'll do Caleb Williams, then we'll talk about Sycamores receivers.
Ingalls Table take you through it step by step with expert tips and advice.
We can do that in 17 minutes.
At Ingalls-Markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine.
You said Caleb?
Again, Ingalls, low prices.
About the book coming out where he was trying everything in his power to avoid the Bears.
This is General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community Heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, we are back on ESPN Asheville, and one of the things about being a rookie in the NFL is that you come in and you have some bad habits to break, and apparently the coaches in Las Vegas are not too happy about Ashton Gianti and his Michael Myers stance in the backfield that became a meme throughout the college football season of, look at this guy. He doesn't look like he's ready at all for anything to happen. He just looks like he's blankly staring into space somewhere. And then all of a sudden, the ball is snapped. He gets the ball and then, of course, turns into the big play monster that we saw on all the highlight reels throughout the year. There was a story yesterday that said, the Raiders offensive coordinator is really wanting him to break that. You're not going to do that anymore. And then the story ended with Ashton saying, "Yeah, I think he'll see it my way eventually." I don't know that I like that response.
I'll go ahead and tell you, I didn't like that response at all.
I'll do it his way for now, but I think he's going to see it's better my way.
I didn't like that response at all.
That's a weird thing to say, but I don't know. I mean, I get the psychology behind it. Because he said that the reason that he does it is because that's kind of like his clear the mechanism thing. Like he does kind of zone out and just goes completely relaxed before the play, and that's how he looks. He doesn't, get down in the crouch kind of thing before the play starts. I don't know. It's a weird thing to say.
Speaking of things that don't make me feel all warm and fuzzy about rookies, have you noticed that you've seen 500 videos of Travis Hunter at Jaguars camp? Not one of them has been him doing anything on a football field.
Well, except for the one you showed me yesterday.
Which was not good. Which was not good. That's the whole dancing thing. It's cute when it's the only thing anybody can record of you. That scares me. Mm-hmm. Another thing that scares me: baseball. Baseball just had a perfect storm. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball had the Mets and the Yankees, which should be your highest rated game. It's a huge baseball market, in-city rivalry, and you had Juan Soto coming back to the Bronx. And it was. Tank, how many people do you think watched that particular matchup on Sunday Night Baseball between the Mets and the Yankees?
2.5 million.
That is exactly right. We already did this once, so he already knew the answer.
The money.
Nailed it. I bet you get the peak right. Dude, what did it peak at?
3 million.
3 million. That's up 69% from last year's Sunday Night Baseball average. Mm-hmm. It is also the highest rated edition of Sunday Night Baseball in 7 years.
That's a long time.
That's a long time. It's a really long time when I tell you this. How many people watched the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever the same day on ABC in a lesser window?
Okay, wait. Let me guess. Is it 2.7 people?
That's 2.7 people or 2.7 million people?
Obviously million.
I was about to say, if it's 2.7, I need to understand how you got to 0.7 people. But
well, I dated this girl once. She looked kind of sideways and didn't count.
Yeah. That's the thing you said. That is exactly right. 2.7 million, and it peaked at 3.1. The highest rated Sunday Night Baseball game in 7 years just got beat by a WNBA game. On the same day, on the same family of networks. And you want to know why we don't talk about baseball? Ladies and gentlemen, I have located. There is the example that you need forever and for always.
Indeed. But if you are a baseball fan and an Atlanta Braves fan, there's a chance that you could win some tickets to go see the Braves this weekend down at Truist Park in Atlanta. We got a pair of tickets available, possibly, to you on the Facebook page, ESPN Asheville Facebook page. We tweeted it out. We Facebooked it out, posted it out from the Sportsocracy page as well. Just interact. Tell us who your all-time Braves Mount Rushmore is, and we're going to pick a winner, and you could be going to Atlanta this weekend to see the Braves and the Padres. Of course, you can always hear the Braves right here on ESPN Asheville all season long.
I also have a story about Bill Belichick and his pending nuptials, but I will be telling that in another one of our bottom-of-the-hour segments later in the show, because there's another layer that I just found out this morning.
Oh, dear. I'm so done. I don't care. I care less about this relationship than I did about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. And the fact that people can't stop talking about it is really grinds my gears, if you will. All right, we've got some drama up in Chicago with Caleb Williams. You said?
Oh, we do. We have a super chat before we get to that.
Okay.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
This from Red Sea talking about our flag football discussion. He said, quarterback Lamar Jackson, wide receiver Tyreek Hill, we win. I agree. The other three receivers could be Tank Spencer, Jeremy Green, and Chris Womack, and we would be just fine.
But you don't run in this flag football. So the quarterback doesn't run.
But
this flag football.
Yeah, but it helps when they have a howitzer and can run laterally, which they can do.
Sure. I'm not choosing Lamar if that's the case, though.
Well, you have to remember they can run laterally. Mm-hmm. So, and it doesn't take long for that pass rusher to get back there when, nobody's blocking them.
That is true as well. All right. So, what's the deal with Caleb in Chicago?
We haven't had the chance to discuss this yet. It came out Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, there's a book coming out where, and it's Ian O'Connor, I believe, wrote the book. I don't have the whole story pulled up in front of me. They followed around quarterbacks. It's called American. It's from Seth Wickersham. I had the wrong beat writer. American Kings: A Biography of the Quarterback. Basically, in this book, they followed Caleb Williams around, and they detailed his father absolutely trying everything in his power to get Caleb away from the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Carl Williams, it's Caleb's dad, told several agents in 2024, I don't want my son playing for the Bears. That's where quarterbacks go to die. He went so far as to considering, talking with labor lawyers and agents, if Caleb could have signed with the UFL and become an unrestricted free agent in 2025 so that he could pick his own team. That is not how that works. Does this bother you? Like, if you're the Bears, you're Ben Johnson, you're the brain trust with Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren, do you see all of this and it bother you?
I mean, I guess it would bother me to a point, but now that he's here, now that this is his job, I would hope that those sentiments have changed. Right? There's a certain point where, okay, I can understand you would be not too happy about coming to a situation like this. I mean, these are all the things that we talked about before the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Of if you were Caleb Williams, would you go to the Bears? Would you try to pull the Eli Manning or whatever? Like, none of this should be surprising to anybody.
It's surprising you went down the path of. All right, I'm going to read you another quote from Caleb's dad. The rookie cap is just unconstitutional. It's the worst piece of excrement I've ever read. It's the worst in sports history.
Yep.
Every bit of this would be scaring me to death, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
All you just did, and this would, I would go super deep on this, of this is how actually dumb some people can be when they come into this league. Carl Williams, and I'm going to say this out loud, and I want you to tell me how stupid this actually sounds when I tell you what he's done here. Carl Williams went through a draft process with his son where he was being raked over hot coals because he wore nail polish. He cried in his mom's lap after a game. Basically was thought to be one of the most fragile prospects we've ever seen. Carl Williams at some point got a message from Seth Wickersham, who works in the NFL as a reporter, that said, I want to follow you and your son around as he gets drafted. And Carl Williams not only went, okay, let's do that. He felt the urge to be unabashedly honest with a reporter, and not one word of it was off the record.
Mm-hmm.
You know what that tells me? The people around you are not very smart. They're just not. I mean, nobody goes into this process and is willing to talk to a reporter this candidly. And you know why? Because it might come out at some point. And when it does come out, what do you think's going to happen the first time Caleb Williams comes out and throws 3 interceptions next year with this team that has super lofty expectations? These quotes are going to come back out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't want to be here in the first place. He doesn't want to be here now. And you know whose ears that's going to get into? DJ Moore and Rome Odunze and all the other players in that room. All you did was through absolutely zero benefit to yourself. You just gave us another reason to pick your kid apart.
Mm-hmm.
I say this a lot during the draft process. My favorite prospect is the boring prospect. I love a guy that I don't have anything. I don't have any yeah buts because I don't know anything about him. Justin Fields. I didn't love his tape. I still don't love his tape. Something I did love about him. Do you know who he says his best friend is?
Who's that?
His dog. You know why his dog's his best friend?
Why?
Because everything he says to his dog can't be repeated. It's one of the only things I've ever heard Justin Fields say where I went, I like that a lot. I like that a lot. And I actually got that from a group of Chicago guys that we met at a series of events. The Chicago media thought it was really weird. They thought it was weird that he wasn't friends really with any of the guys on the team. He didn't go out with the guys after practices. He didn't really socialize with anybody. It was just him and his dog. It's because he didn't trust anybody else. And I think there's a merit to that. Caleb Williams, for sure.
Well, yeah.
What benefit did this do to anybody with the last name Williams?
Oh, go on. I mean, Carl got to be in a book.
Exactly. Carl got his name in print.
Right.
We had this problem when he was coming through the draft process. Man, his dad's awfully involved.
Right.
What do you think's going to happen when the contract comes up? Mm-hmm. Dad's going to be real involved.
Mm-hmm. I believe we did talk about this before the draft.
We did. We did because his dad was super involved.
Yeah. And it would have been a giant red flag.
It's one of those things. If you're an elite prospect, if Joe Burrow or even Lamar Jackson, and that's a better example because his mom's his agent.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. It's weird that his mom's his agent. Lamar Jackson's so good that he was getting paid regardless. He didn't necessarily need somebody in his corner. And I'll be honest with you, when Lamar explained why his mom was his agent, I still find it to be a little weird, but I get it. He said, somebody's going to catch a big percentage of my deal. I'd rather it be my mom than anybody else because she's looking out for me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't agree. I mean, I agree with everything you said. I don't necessarily agree with the premise.
Right.
Caleb Williams doesn't have that luxury. Caleb Williams is coming into a make or break second year. You said this yesterday about Drake May, how you thought it was off-putting that somebody called it a make or break year. This is a make or break year for Caleb Williams. And all you just did, not really intentionally because you didn't know when the book was going to come out per se, you just put a target on your kid's back for the 50th time.
Mm-hmm.
You gave people that want to hate Caleb Williams another reason to hate Caleb Williams. You gave Bears fans a reason to boo Caleb because he just talked smack about your franchise.
Mm-hmm. But this is why you don't do that.
100%.
This is why you don't let your parents do that.
This over the course of the
have agents. This is why you go outside of the family to have people run this, so you don't run into this problem.
Over the course
of you have no self-awareness.
Over the course of the process, Drake May's dad's name is Clark, correct?
Carl.
Carl. I knew it was C something. I couldn't remember what it was. Are you sure? Because it's Carl Williams. Anyway, whatever his name is. He wouldn't even talk to reporters.
Mm-hmm.
When Drake was going through the process, he wouldn't even talk to reporters because he was afraid he'd say the wrong thing. This is a guy that he's been around the Carolina program for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he played at Carolina, if I remember correctly. He kind of knows what the business is with all of this. Carl Williams does
Drake's dad.
Yes, I'm talking about Drake's dad.
Oh, I thought you were talking. I thought we were still talking about Caleb.
No. I'm talking about Drake May's dad. Mark. There it is. Mark May. He's been around the program forever.
Yeah.
He wouldn't even talk to me on the sidewalk because he was afraid he would say the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
As an affiliate of North Carolina that only had Drake's best interests at heart. And he was super nice about it.
Mm-hmm.
But still, that's what I'm looking for. Dad that wants to go do books, I'm good. I'm good on all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a funny feeling, you know, I really like the Bears. We're going to talk about them in the next hour as we break down the NFC and AFC North. I like this Bears team. I hate the noise around this team. And it's not just Caleb. There's more to it than that. And I'm finding it, the further down the rabbit hole we get, I'm finding it harder and harder to trust the Bears. And I don't know if I'm the only one that's in that boat, but it's getting worse by the day.
I was going to say, trust in the Bears is a risky proposition, regardless. Has been for a long time. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We'll get into more predictions up next.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
We flipped it around now. The wet weather from overnight well east of us, the front through, low humidity. Little bit of a breeze this afternoon, but gorgeous. Beautiful blue sky and comfortable, close to 80. Tonight, 55, mainly clear. We'll keep that breeze around. Thursday, breezy sunshine, clouds, and maybe a shower, thunder shower. Really not expecting all-day rain, if even a lot at all. And then Friday, sun's back, and we're even cooler. Highs will only be in the mid-60s with lows in the low to mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Total Wine & More. Ready to kick off summer right? Total Wine & More has the seltzers, spirits, and summertime essentials you need. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Spirits not sold in Virginia and North Carolina. Drink responsibly. B21.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detail. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Here's Comedians and Sketchers Getting Comfortable, presented by Hands Free Skechers Slip-Ins.
Hey, I'm Bobby Slayton, and I'm here with my pal, comedian, and Skechers ambassador, Mr. Howie Mandel.
Why did it take so long to invent something as amazing as Slip-Ins? I know it seems simple, but it took Skechers to invent a better pair of shoes.
Yep, with Skechers Slip-Ins, you just step it and go. You don't have to touch your shoes. And by the way, Slip-Ins are for the whole family, men, women, and kids. In all your favorite Skechers styles, find Skechers Slip-Ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
For over 40 years, American Electric has been family-owned and operated right here in WNC. With 3 generations and over 100 dedicated teammates, they are powered to serve our community. Homes and businesses can trust American Electric. Visit a-americanelectric.com.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has 2 things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce.
This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers, 316-1013. 316-1013.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
From the Ingalls Studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Happy. That's happy. Enter it now.
Go to espnavl.com to play, and good luck.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I'd love to say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls Studio.
We are back at the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app, and we are seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, and that way you can subscribe to the channel and then join us in the chat. Each and every day, we are officially in day 3 of Prediction Week. After the release of the schedule last week, we've been going through all of the divisions in the NFL, every schedule, and Flostradamus making his predictions for how 2025 is going to turn out.
I am really sad that Straight Jacket Thoughts in our YouTube chat. First of all, that is a great name. Second of all, said, my 100% prediction, every team will win between 0 and 16 games. Next year, I think I'm just going to say that and take this week off. I hate doing predictions. I hate it. I love going through the schedule. But this year, we kept this, but we decided we're going to do another one after camps and once we've gotten into an actual prediction. Over the last few years, we've just done this and kind of let it ride. And you realize pretty early in camp that, oops, I boo-booed that. I boo-booed that pretty bad. And this year I'm going to several camps, so hopefully I get as much intel as I got last year.
Yeah, get a little bit better picture of what's happening here. So today we're doing the Norths. We started with the Souths, did the Easts yesterday, and now we have the Norths to discuss. Since we've been talking about the Chicago Bears, you want to start with the NFC North?
Yes. That sounds like a formidable idea.
Okay. Very good. We had to start at the bottom of the division, though.
I am curious if we have the same team at the bottom of the division.
The bottom of the division for me is the Minnesota Vikings.
At 2. It's mine, too. I have them at 7 and 10.
I have them at 6-11. How did you get higher on them?
I have absolutely no idea.
I've been the one talking about, well, they're not going to be that bad.
Oh, they're that bad. They're that bad.
Somehow you had more wins for them than I did.
Well, that's because the schedule came out, and I think you realized what I've been saying was true. This rookie better be everything you thought he was going to be and more, or you're going to get your brains bashed out over and over. Do you understand that they start this season? They start at the Bears. Mm-hmm. They don't play another road game. Not one for 5 weeks. They have an international game in there against Pittsburgh. They're the home team. They do have to, because they do the back-to-back thing with when they play Cleveland.
Right.
They don't play a natural road game from September the 8th until October the 23rd. Mm-hmm. Now, that sounds good. Like, oh, he's going to get ingratiated in, and it'll be all hunky-dunky. The only problem is that 2 of those are in Minnesota. One of those that's in Minnesota is the Sunday night game against the Atlanta Falcons. Mm-hmm. The other one is against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Then you go international tour for 2 weeks. You get a bye, and surely to God it's got to lean up after that. Nope, you go Philadelphia Eagles at the Chargers, at the Lions, Baltimore Ravens, Bears, at the Packers, at the Seahawks, Washington Commanders. That's through week 14.
It is bleak.
I swear to God, I think Roger Goodell said, I think he was sitting in his office going, you know what I'm going to do? Mm-hmm. I'm going to really screw over Brian Flores for suing the league. I'll show you, defensive wonderkind. No, here's what you get. You get Joe Burrow and that Atlanta offense and Caleb Williams early. Then you got to go international for 2 games. And then you come back to Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, Caleb Williams, Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels. Congratulations. But the schedule is really nice at the end. The only problem is, abandon all hope, all ye that enter, you'll be 3-11 by then. I don't see a path that you navigate this schedule well.
No. J.J. McCarthy, sophomore quarterback. No. You haven't taken a snap yet. You can't convince me that you have any type of experience to lean on in the NFL. I've seen a lot of people try to make that case. Well, he's been around. I don't care. Does that matter to you?
Well, Timmy Society podcast said JJ's a smart quarterback. I agree with that, by the way. He was 61-3. Okay. There are a lot of guys that won in college.
Yep.
Jamarcus Russell won in college.
Yep.
Ryan Leaf took Washington State to a Rose Bowl. I'll be frank with you. What you did in college, I'm not going to say it means nothing to me. It doesn't mean much at this time. Here's what bothers me. All right, we had a listener of the show that asked me to go through the tape on J.J. McCarthy again because I had said something about tight window throws and he didn't agree with me. So I have not done the deep dive, but I've gone back and watched a little J.J. McCarthy tape. You know what I discovered? He is really dependent on the running game. At least he was at Michigan. He was really dependent on the running game setting up the pass. And I don't think you're going to have that here. I've said I love Aaron Jones. I love Jordan Mason in terms of fantasy football because I think they're going to get a lot of work. I never said they were going to be super productive. I never said they were going to be really, really good at it because here's the thing. You start out, and I mean, this is a terrible way for an NFL quarterback to get their first taste of action. So I'm just going to look at those first 5 games. And I'm going to break down what you actually got in this schedule. You have to go into the Chicago Bears on a Monday night. I don't remember the last time Chicago played a Monday night game, but it feels like it's been a long time ago. Mm-hmm. That's the season opener with a team that probably has more hope right now than they've ever had before. That place is going to be loud. It's going to be crazy. and it's going to be packed with Bears fans. You'll be able to spot Minnesota Viking fans in that crowd like you're playing Where's Waldo. Because there's not going to be many tickets available. If you had them, you're going.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get a short week back in Minnesota against Atlanta. But it's on Sunday Night Football. That's a second primetime spot for a rookie who, in his first 2 games, will have played 2 primetime spots against an Atlanta team that's going to be able to score, has one of the best running backs in the league, and has a wide receiver that you don't really match up all that well with. That could be a shootout. Chicago could be a shootout. Mm-hmm. Then you get into another shootout with Joe Burrow. That feels like you're bringing a knife to a gunfight. And then you play Pittsburgh and Cleveland, but they're both international. Those are both completely different schedules than anything you're used to. So J.J. McCarthy gets his first 3-game taste of the NFL and then has to do 2 weeks that nobody's ever done before. Gets a bye week. So now you're into week 6, and I can't say positively that J.J. McCarthy's even going to really understand what the day-in, day-out grind of the NFL looks like. Not because he's J.J. McCarthy, because he's a rookie. I would be saying this about any other rookie. I don't care who it is. If it was Cam Ward, I'd be saying the same thing. What I want to see from rookies is I want to see you get into the day-to-day grind, the day-to-day schedule, know where you're supposed to be, know when you're supposed to be in the film room, and figure yourself out. J.J. McCarthy gets no shot at that for 6 weeks. Then he has to play the reigning Super Bowl champions, one of the best teams in the AFC on the road, by the way, his college coach. One of the best teams in the NFC on the road. My favorite to win the Super Bowl at home. Then you get 2 in a row in the division. This is as bad as it could possibly have ever been scheduled for a rookie quarterback. Fact or fiction?
Fact. Because after you get your division games, then you got to go to one of the loudest places in all of football in Seattle. And then you get Jaden Daniels and company coming to your house in week 14. And then you got a chance to win a couple of games with maybe the Cowboys and the Giants. You close on the Lions and the Packers. So after I went through the schedule, I was like, oh, well, maybe they will be that bad. Because the schedule's evil.
It's
awful. This is not as good of a team as it was last year. Maybe this is get back from the league for the Brian Flores thing, or maybe this is, get back from Roger Goodell. He's as big of a Sam Darnold fan as Jeremy is, and he went, you know what, you messed up. You boo-boo kiddied, and now I'm going to have to punish you. Because it's not going to be easy at all. And, J.J. McCarthy has some idea what the system's supposed to be, because he has been around, but he doesn't know what it's like to be the leader in that scenario.
He also gets 2 games the entire year, 2, where he is the more talented of the quarterbacks. Now, before anybody tries to shade me on that, it's not debatable with Joe Burrow, with Aaron Rodgers, with Jalen Hurts, with Justin Herbert, with Jared Goff, Lamar Jackson, Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels, Dak Prescott. That's not even debatable. The others that it is debatable with, they were all drafted over him. Every one of these teams had the chance to take J.J. McCarthy, and they didn't. There's a reason for that. And they have a year jump on you. None of this really has anything to do with how I feel about J.J. McCarthy. This is a terrible, terrible schedule. Genuinely awful. And then there comes this added little layer that I haven't said yet. How many games did Minnesota win last year?
I don't remember. 8?
Minnesota went 14-3 last year.
Yeah, they won a bunch of games.
They went 14-3 last year.
14-3. Okay.
They were tied for the 3rd best record in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
What happens psychologically to the fan base if you start 1-4? Even if you start 2-3. Let's say everything goes hunky-dunky and you find a way to beat, I'll say, Cleveland, Chicago. Lose to Atlanta, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. psychologically you look at that schedule and go, oh, good God, we don't have a game that we're not going to be a 7+ point dog in for the next month. Mm-hmm. Even if you start 3-2, next thing you know, you're 3-6. What's going to happen? What's going to happen is a Minnesota fan base that is very, very used to making the wrong decision at quarterback, that is very used to letting windows close, is going to look at this and go, we made the wrong decision. We should have held on to Sam Darnold. And then that's going to get louder and louder and louder and louder, and you're putting this kid in a god-awful situation. I've said this for years. I've covered the NFL draft for a decade and a half. I put more into where a kid goes. I shouldn't say more. It's probably as much into where a kid goes in the situation he gets as I do into the actual talent of the kid. J.J. McCarthy has been put in what may, honest to God, be the most unenviable position that I've ever seen. Because you just had a quarterback that most people do not universally respect as a top 15, top 10 talent in the league that led you to one of the best seasons in the history of your franchise. So now they just expect that the guy we took in the top 10, we traded up to go get, that guy's going to be able to do it. But this isn't in a vacuum. You're not playing that 2024 Minnesota Vikings schedule. You're not getting what Sam Darnold got, which was you open with the New York Giants. Then you get a diminished San Francisco 49ers, the C.J. Stroud experiment in Houston where the offensive line was absolute dog water. You beat Green Bay, and you got the Jets. That's what they got last year. You see how that sounds a lot better than what they start with this year? Mm-hmm. It's a completely different situation. And I'm scared. I'm scared to death of how this is going to go. Mm-hmm. Timmy Society said, what happens if they go 5-0? Then everything I just said is wrong.
Right.
I'll also say, what if I sprouted wings and flew off this balcony right here? Well, then all of a sudden I'm not an ESPN radio host. I'm a bird.
Right.
I don't see any shot you're going 5-0. Best case scenario, you're going 3-2.
Yeah, more than likely.
And it's that expectation. However, expectation's part of what scares me so much.
Right.
This ain't the first time I've had this exact same conversation with Viking fans. It's not. I do it every time I mention the name J.J. McCarthy. I get somebody that defends him this way. And I get it. You love him. You want him to be your guy. There's nothing wrong with that. That expectation also sets him up for failure. If Minnesota was looking at this going, because, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I still got him 7-10. I still got him 7-10, which means if a couple things break your way, you could be 9-8. That still doesn't make the playoffs in the NFC for me. But even if it did, are you going to be excited at 9-8 after you just went 14-3 with a guy you let walk out the door for nothing?
No. No, you're not going to be excited about that. Just part of the reason why I hated the entire thing, the entire idea of moving on from Sam Darnold. You felt you had to, but this is the risk you took. Now you're going to come back with a team that I feel like the fan base is going to think, well, we should be better than we were last year. We got the quarterback issue, sure. But there again, he's first-round pick. That's the guy. But you can't hang and, think about it this way. You're going up against a terrible schedule that you didn't have to face last year, so immediately that 14 wins out the window. Not going to happen.
Oh God, we have
no chance.
We have such a good point in the YouTube chat right now. Jonathan Welch just asked me, is he better or worse than Bo Nix last year? As a quarterback, I'll say better. In terms of just a raw talent, I'll say better. He was drafted over Bo Nix. There's a reason for that. Every NFL team I talked to last year would have taken J.J. McCarthy over Bo Nix. Mm-hmm. You know what Bo Nix got last year? Bo Nix started the season. They played 13 games before the bye week. They played at Seattle, who had a quarterback playing that was good in Geno Smith. Not great. Oh, and by the way, they lost. Then they played Pittsburgh and lost. They beat the Heber-Jeebers out of a Tampa Bay team that I'm not sure if y'all showed up drunk that week or what. I'll never figure it out.
I believe so.
He had 60 yards passing in week 4. They played the New York Jets. If I live to be 200 years old, I'll never forget this game. Bo Nix had 7 less yards in the first half than I did. That's what it looks like having a mid-tier rookie quarterback, which is exactly what Minnesota gets. You won that game. People forget it had less than zero to do with Bo Nix. Nothing. Then you beat the Raiders with 206 yards from Bo Nix. By the way, Tampa Bay, not great. Jets, awful. Raiders weren't good last year. You beat the Saints, you beat Carolina, you beat Atlanta, Vegas, Cleveland, Indianapolis, and then you got Kansas City at the end of the year when they didn't care. You know who you lost to? Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert. Oh, you mean the exact same list of guys that I just listed off that J.J. McCarthy gets to play this year? Look at the losses for Bo Nix. This could go exactly the same way. McCarthy could be as good as Bo Nix was last year, and the Minnesota Vikings could go 5-12.
I think they go 6-11. And I can't really see a way around it. And again, this is from somebody who's been trying to make the excuses of how this team is not going to be that bad. But I don't see how you get around all of the hurdles that you're going to be facing, because you're right. It is going to get loud. There's going to be a lot of ticked off Skull fans that are just not going to get it. That's another example of, well, why you're the Minnesota Vikings. Last place team in the NFC North, according to the Flostradamus and Tank predictions here in the Sportsocracy. It is another prediction day here on Prediction Week. We will return. We'll talk about the third place team in the NFC North for 2025 next. And we're clear.
The One.
Thank you.
He does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detail. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
I lived on a commercial salmon fishing boat in Alaska, and I genuinely think that was the first time I've ever felt myself kind of like slipping mentally. I think Alaska does weird things to people.
If you're interested in hearing anonymous callers like this tell stories from their lives, check out my podcast, Therapy Gecko. You can listen to Therapy Gecko on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Therapy Gecko and start listening on the free iHeart.
Hey, Tank, am I loud to you?
Or sell in Asheville?
No.
I'm not loud to you?
EXP Realty, we're proud to be.
No, but I also have you throttled back on my board.
Okay.
28-774.
I'm going to throttle myself down a little bit.
For what
Okay.
You.
In the aftermath of Hurricane
In the YouTube chat, tell me if this level's good.
And we learned in desperate times one of the best
It was
things
reading
to have around
good previously.
was a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy. Just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here,
Tank,
making
can
it
you
happen.
check your
the
mic?
right
I just
way.
want to make sure it
Fair,
didn't,
insured and local. Need
garble.
tree help? Call the Chainsaw
Garble you or
Brothers.
anything.
316.
Check one. Can you hear me? Test. Team.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating
I don't know if that's going to give you the same thing as when it's on.
bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball
trying
game
to
at your
balance
minor
this
league
out.
park, it's all in the bag. Ingles.
Mine
low prices,
redlines me no
love
matter
the
what I
savings.
do. I can turn me
This
down
is
to
JW
negative
Witt,
25
General
and I'm
Manager
still
of
hitting the
Parks
rev
Ford of
limiter, so I'm just
Hendersonville.
guessing.
Community heroes, Corey and Kristen Short and the entire team at Silverados, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the wake of Hurricane
now I'm
Helene.
too low.
Corey and his team founded
All right, how
Valley
about now?
Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to
I have a
providing
lot of
essential
play with
support
me, so
to our
I'm really
neighbors in
just
need.
whatever
Nominate
sounds
your
good to
Parks
y'all.
Community hero at
I'm pretty close to where I
parkscommunityheroes.com.
started, and I cranked
Experience
him
the
up
Parks
quite a
Promise
bit.
today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has two things that all Sportsocracy
All right,
fans
need me a
crave.
tad
Bold
louder.
flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah. And they've got the balls.
I also get
Bear's
pissed
famous
and
Bear
eat my
balls are
mic when
packed
I
with
get on a
mac and
rant.
cheese,
So
pulled pork,
that part
cornbread,
will never be
deep
able to
fried,
moderate
and
because I
topped
can't
with
stop
bacon
doing
and
it.
cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville. It is ESPN Asheville. The Sportsocracy is coming to you live from the Ingalls studio. It's also, of course, the NFLDraft.net. Mullet Manor. Jeremy's back in his comfy confines of Woodfin.
It is comfy.
You officially live in Woodfin, right?
I do live in I do. I live in the township, so
Okay.
we get we get the police department that I would be a very bad house to break into because there's usually a cop right across the street from my house. So.
Right.
I think they do that because they know so many people don't like me, which I appreciate that.
Probably. They got it posted out. Just somebody's going to come for that guy one of these days. Probably going to be, I don't know, a ticked-off Dallas Cowboys fan or something. It's a prediction week here in the Sportsocracy, and we've got the Minnesota Vikings as the last-place team in the NFC North this year. I've got them 6-11. You got them 7-10. Your third-place team is?
The Chicago Bears.
Okay. Chicago Bears.
I don't know what to do with Chicago. I feel like whatever I do, I'm going to be wrong.
Of course you will.
Because I do.
Because you can't trust them. You said that earlier. It's harder to trust Chicago. When could you trust Chicago? Because I don't remember that time.
When did
Not in my lifetime.
When did Mike Ditka leave? Because
right, 1985. So it was in my lifetime, but it was way before I ever, really knew what football was.
That was not in my lifetime.
Since the 85 Bears. I mean, I could trust that you would have players, defensive players anyway, but you've never been really a team that I can trust any. Well, I remember being so shocked when they went to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman. This has never been a franchise that I think you could trust.
You know what bothers me so bad about Chicago?
What is that?
Look at the games they play on the road.
Mm-hmm.
At Detroit, at Vegas, at Washington. That's off the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
At Baltimore, at Cincinnati, at Minnesota, at Philadelphia, at Green Bay, at San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
They don't play a bad team on the road. They don't play a bad team on the road. And it is hard for me to think. And look, we love Ben Johnson. We know Ben Johnson. I think Ben is a really bright offensive guy. It bumfuzzled me when he took this job. Because I don't see how what I know of Ben lines up with this team. The running game is not great at this point. I don't know that I've ever been more shocked that a team didn't take a running back than the Chicago Bears.
Mm-hmm. Went from we're holding out hope for Ashton Gianti at 10 to we'll just skip it.
Well,
it'll be fine. We'll get Kyle Monagai in the the 6th round?
The 7th round.
7th round.
And I'll be honest with you, the Genty thing never really made sense to me because I don't think it was a perfect fit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how a team in an offense that's so reliant on the running game is going into a year with DeAndre Swift and Roschon Johnson. Now, I have heard Nick Chubb's name mentioned with Chicago, and that makes some sense. I also have absolutely no idea what you would be getting from him. The schedule didn't do you any favors, and at this point, I trust Caleb Williams so little. because we just keep chalking this up that all of a sudden he's going to become this guy that he wasn't. I'm going to say something that I haven't heard anybody say. What did Ben Johnson do for Jared Goff that took him from the player he was at the end with the Rams to what he's become with the Lions? What changed?
What is it?
Jared Goff was notorious for throwing bad interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Ben got him to stop taking the crazy chances, and he's still he's thrown 12 interceptions 2 years in a row. So it's not that he took the gunslinger out of him. He made it more pointed. He made it more, we're going to take scripted shots. What was my biggest knock on Caleb Williams coming into the draft and last year with Chicago?
Threw too many interceptions.
He never takes shots.
Oh, okay.
Ever. He never presses it down the field. It's actually the exact opposite of what you just said. He doesn't throw too many interceptions because he never takes chances of any kind. He only throws passes that he knows he can complete. And in the NFL, that leads to a guy that averages 208 yards passing a week, and that's what he was last year.
Mm-hmm.
He also got sacked 68 times. The line wasn't that bad. We talked about this all season long. The line was not that bad. I'm not telling you it was great, but it wasn't that bad. And I don't think a new coach is changing all of this.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, I don't think a new coach can be expected to change all of it immediately. And that's where I think it goes a little kooky for some of us, because we can see the talent that exists on this team. If you trust Ben, then you think, well, they're going to win a bunch more games than they did with Matt Eberflus running the show. My problem that I have is it's still Ryan Poles building the roster. And that was, I don't know. I mean, did they get rid of him too?
No, he's still there.
Right. Was he not a problem? Was he not part of the problem? So, I mean, you've got this marriage between the GM that was there, or the GM that was there before, and now the new coach coming in. And we kept thinking during the draft, like, these picks don't really make much sense from what we understand of Ben. Not saying that we are inside his brain, but following him pretty close and being pretty familiar with it, there were some questionable choices there, were there not? And so you go, who's building this team? Who's got the real power here? And is this marriage going to be any good? Because you can have a situation where Ryan Poles is just terrible as a GM, and every move he makes will just turn into dung.
Well, you're railing on Ryan Poles way too much. To me, you're railing on Ryan Poles way too much. But for me, it's not the composition of the team that I'm bothered by. I think Ryan Poles has actually done a pretty good job. You got to remember how bad this team was, 4 years ago? This roster was dog water 4 years ago. He's managed to assemble a team that I think is pretty good. The problem is that I think he took the wrong shot at quarterback. I said this as vehemently as I could the night we were sitting in Detroit, watching the stage, getting ready to see Caleb Williams walk across it. And I said, Ryan Poles is going to regret that he took Caleb Williams and not Jaden Daniels. And I don't see there's any way that he doesn't. And now I will go one step further. Taking this roster for what it is, if Jaden Daniels was on this team right now, are they or are they not the favorite in the NFC North? Because I think they are. Losing two coordinators in Detroit, I think you're the favorite. If not, you're really close to Detroit.
It would be much closer.
That kind of proves my point. The roster is fine. I'm not upset about the roster. Do I wish you had some different things? Do I wish you had a running back you could really count on? Sure. The defense is good. I like what you've got on defense. I can't stand your quarterback. I couldn't stand him as a prospect. I can't stand him as an NFL player. I don't like him in an NFL locker room. There's just nothing about Caleb Williams that has ever done it for me. And now you've got a roster 2 to 53 that I think is fine. You've got a coach that I think is fine. But you have tied yourself to a quarterback that I don't know how he's going to operate in this system. And we just think Ben's going to show up and all of a sudden it's going to be hunky-dunky because he did it with Jared Goff. The thing you forget, Jared Goff was a number 1 pick too. This is not like he did this with Jacoby Brissett. This was a talented guy that he just had to rein in a little bit. Caleb Williams is a talented guy that now you're going to have to completely change the way he plays quarterback, and I'm not sure you're going to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have nothing behind him that pushes him in any way. Because Caleb's so fragile, he couldn't have that guy behind him. That's why you got Case Keenum, the least threatening backup quarterback in NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
Because if this team starts bad, nobody's calling for Tyson Bagent. I don't love it. I just feel like Chicago's 8-9, 9-8, and that's it.
Okay. All right. Where do you officially have them?
I have them at 8-9.
Okay. All right. 8-9. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. I'm one of those. I'm buying in. I'm getting duped by Ben Johnson, apparently. I had him at 10-7 in mine. Second place in the division. I hope it works out for him. But there again, when you start trusting the Bears, I think you know how it's going to go. You're in the Sportsocracy, and we'll be right back.
ESPN Asheville.
Now we're clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
We flipped it around now. The wet weather from overnight well east of us, the front through, low humidity. Little bit of a breeze this afternoon, but gorgeous. Beautiful blue sky and comfortable, close to 80. Tonight, 55, mainly clear. We'll keep that breeze around. Thursday, breezy, sunshine, clouds, and maybe a shower, thunder shower. Really not expecting all-day rain, if even a lot at all. And then Friday, sun's back, and we're even cooler. Highs will only be in the mid-60s with lows in the low to mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private. So things like those selfies from last weekend's party stay between you and your bestie. Because on WhatsApp, your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even us. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone.
As down payments get bigger, millions of renters across America feel like they'll never be able to buy a home. So instead of lowering expectations, Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus, helping more renters become owners. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Now more than ever, Lowe's knows you don't just want a low price, you want the lowest price. And with our lowest price guarantee, you can count on us for competitive prices on all your home improvement
Was that laugh
projects.
for what I think it was for?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Hey, somewhere else.
Just can't.
We'll match it.
You two dumbasses should be anywhere else. We'll let ESPN
Price
know.
match applies the same
They are
price of qualifying
uninformed.
retailers. Exclusions and terms apply. Learn how we'll match price at Lowe's.com/lowest price guarantee.
Grab your shades. Your
You can
flip-flops,
disagree
and
with
your
me
free
all you want
radio app
to,
for the start
but
of summer
the minute
2025.
you break
No matter
that
where you
out,
go this
I
summer,
will
your
not
favorite
listen to
radio
another
station, the
word you
music
say.
you love, and the along for the
I don't
attention
care
of
if you
the
do
nation.
disagree with me.
Radio
Frankly,
app,
I
your phone today.
encourage it.
Buying or selling a home doesn't
But
have to
if
be
you,
stressful.
honest to God, will look at me and go, I know this league better than you do. Cool, let's
local
play.
real estate
Cool, let's play.
Whether you're searching for your dream
I'll give
home,
you an
looking to
open
sell
invite
quickly,
to
or
Mullet
exploring
Manor, and we can break down tape
I've got the
together,
experience
and
and the
I don't
tools
think
to
it's
get you
going to go the way
best
you
deal
want it to.
possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall, with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore.
I'd also love to know what low frequency means. I've never been called. I'm the loudest SOB on this planet. I am the furthest thing from low frequency.
I believe he just called us mentally handicapped.
He might have.
Ingles-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingles Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours.
You ever notice nobody ever does that on a team that's not their team?
Debris to rescue 7 families after the road was
It
washed
never
away.
happens.
Nominate your hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
But loved what you said about the Cowboys.
Bingo.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
That's for you, Tommy. Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Heard and seen everywhere on the YouTubes.
I will say, it always amazes me. I'm never stupid when I'm talking about a team you don't pull for. Ever, it's never happened. Not what, and I ask, and there's a reason that I ask. Hey, who do you pull for? Well, the Bears. Okay, so you're saying you are more rational than me. That honestly, your team plane could get lost in the Bermuda Triangle. It wouldn't change my life one bit. Not one bit. But you're more rational than me. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Sure.
Oh.
It's the same like 8 teams, too. It's always the same 8 teams.
It's fine. They got hope. They got high hopes. They want you to be dumb. They want you to be wrong. Like you were wrong about, the Minnesota Vikings last year. Or who else were we wrong about last year? The Washington Commanders. There's always hope that you're wrong. The second place team in the NFC North for 2025. It is prediction week here in the Sportsocracy, and Jeremy, you better have the Green Bay Packers here.
I do.
Okay, Green Bay Packers, second place team in the division, according to Flostradamus. What did you not like about the schedule and how it shook out?
I didn't really have a ton of objections about the schedule. I mean, did you?
Well, not
it doesn't start great.
No, it doesn't start great. I mean, you've got the Commanders and the Lions back to back, so you got to play the 2 best teams or 2 of the best teams in the NFC immediately out the gate. But it's the fact that you also have, obviously a second one with the Lions on the schedule. You also have a matchup with the number 1 team in the NFC, the defending Super Bowl champions. You got to play the Cincinnati Bengals at some point. You got the Baltimore Ravens on your schedule as well. Like none of those games are going to be advantageous to you, and I think you'll lose them all. I don't really believe in the Green Bay Packers. I haven't for a couple of years. I just don't. You're just a run of the mill team to me.
Can I say something about Green Bay that's going to sound way meaner than it is?
Okay.
We're going to find out exactly what you are because you fight in your own weight class probably more than any team in the NFL. All right, take Detroit and Washington out because that's 2 teams that I just flat out think are better than you.
Yep.
You're better than Cleveland. Mm-hmm. You're better than the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore is better than you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody disagree with anything I just said?
No.
Every other team on your schedule, so I said 5 teams there. You play 17 games. You will play 12 games with teams that are either exactly on your level, maybe a fraction better than you, or maybe a fraction worse than you.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas, Cincinnati, Arizona, Pittsburgh, Carolina. I forgot Philadelphia, by the way. Philadelphia is better than you. Minnesota, Detroit, Chicago twice, Denver. All of those teams are right there with you. If you're as good as people tell me you are, you're going to make the playoffs because you're going to win more of those games than you lose.
Yes.
You get 2, I think, gifty wins, which is Cleveland and the Giants. You get 3 that and that they're all 3 at home, which will help you. But I think there's a better chance of a meteor falling out of the sky and landing in my lap right now than you beating Detroit, Washington, or Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you start 2 and 3. Just working the schedule backwards here. If you are better than a league average team, you're going to finish 9-8, 10-7. If you are slightly worse than a below average NFL team, you're going to finish 7-10 or 8-9. And that's where Green Bay is. It's the simplest analogy or analysis of any team in the NFL. I don't think you're special. I think Green Bay is about the 13th best team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they're going to right about split the 12 games they have. I think they'll lose to Cincinnati. It's in Green Bay, though, coming off a bye, so you got a shot. I like the chances of you beating teams like Arizona and Pittsburgh and Carolina. If you can get on a roll, things can go really, really well. I don't see 11-win high side for Green Bay, do you?
I do not.
I think you're going to lose. The 3 that I think you're almost guaranteed to lose, even if you steal one of those, I don't see a way that you're going 8-4 against the meaty clackers of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're better than average.
I got him at 8-9. When I went through it, I had him at 8-9 because I think that's where they live. I mean, could that change? Sure. But I don't see you as any more than a 10-win team at best. And then you run into the same problem when you get into the playoffs. I got a quarterback that I can kind of trust sometimes, and I got a pretty good running game. I don't know if that. I wanted them to add more to the defense, and I didn't see that. Like I don't look at this team like I was hoping for that, like, I don't know, big pass rush threat to come out of the draft. And see it. You gave me another slot receiver. I wasn't wild about that.
No, I wasn't wild about Matthew Golden. The production's just not there, and historically receivers that don't have college production don't have NFL production either. And it just becomes another dude. And now you've got 5 2-3s.
Mm-hmm. The fact that you didn't do anything to improve, in my eyes, the secondary. I mean, do they still have issues with Jair Alexander? That's not all sorted out, is it?
It's not sorted out, but it's sounding more and more like it's going to be lathered up and done again.
I mean, maybe that's the way that goes, but I mean, if that's still on rocky ground and there's a possibility for a trade there or something, you're going to be absolutely terrible if you.
Jair Alexander and the Green Bay Packers are the definition of the couple where the girl posts the thirst trap picture and the guy posts the picture of him with the kids about every 8 weeks.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
You know that couple. You just thought of a name. Don't lie to me. I thought of a name when I said it. Oh, there's him with the kids, and there's her with a picture that's angled slightly upward with a shirt that's cutting it low.
Yep.
And it's just what it is. And then you reunite and you're fine. But does the rest of the secondary do anything for me? Yeah, sorry. Keyshawn Nixon and Nate Hobbs doesn't do much for me.
No.
I like Hobbs as a slot guy, but it's just one of those rosters I look at and go, that screams 9-8.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 10-7 if everything goes right.
Yep. All right, and then that brings us to the number 1 team. Defending champions, the Detroit Lions. How good do you think the Lions are going to be with all of the upheaval on the coaching staff?
It makes me more nervous than I've been about Detroit. And during the offseason, look, I said that. You lost both of your coordinators. I don't love that. I don't love that there's been some moving around. I don't think you really got that second pass rusher you were looking for. And then the schedule came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you did the same thing when you saw the Lions schedule that I did, but I went up and down it going, you could lose some games.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of wins here, too.
Mm-hmm.
See a lot of wins here. Just, I mean, and then you get, I think where I really did this in my head was they go Cincinnati, Kansas City back to back. And my first thought was they're winning one of those two games. I don't know which one. I leaned on Cincinnati. But they're winning one of those two games.
Okay.
Because you caught those two cold weather teams really early in the season, so I'm not overly worried about Jared Goff. I talk about cold weather Jared Goff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because statistically, I've never seen a guy whose splits are so wildly different. Do you understand you play one game outside after November 16th? One.
Yes.
It's
yes.
Chicago the last week of the season. It probably doesn't even mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
The schedule sets up nicely for Detroit, and I think it just kind of walked me to you still like Detroit way better than you think you do.
Who?
Detroit. I like them way better
okay.
than I thought that I did.
Yeah. I got to 13-4.
I did not get that high.
I got them losing to Baltimore, Cincinnati, Kansas City, and Philly. And that's it. Could they get God in L.A.? Sure. Could they go to Washington and lose? Yes. The one game I would almost be willing to bet my house on, though, is Week 7 when they host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They are going to mush your face.
Because after they made, 7 trips inside the red zone and did not score against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year?
They scored once.
Did they score once? Okay,
they scored once.
Excuse me. Yeah, after 6 blown trips inside the 20, I don't think that's going to happen again.
They lost 20-16 in a game that they outgained Tampa Bay. This still makes my brain hurt. They outgained Tampa Bay 463-216 and lost.
Yep. Yes, they did.
They had 12. I can't look at that anymore. Blood's going to come out of my ears. I'm going to pass out in my office.
Mm-hmm. That was the one that I looked at on the schedule and went, well, I know how that one's going. That will be Detroit Lions marching on at home.
Well, and something I do want to touch on. It's a really good point in our YouTube chat from Timmy Society Podcast 605. So the Lions have the second toughest schedule this year. But do they, though? And I know where you got that stat. So that's based on win-loss percentage last year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't think Green Bay is as tough as they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
Cincinnati's about equivalent. I don't think Tampa Bay's as good as they were last year. Minnesota's certainly not. Dallas, to me, is about the same. Pittsburgh is, I think, misleading in terms of their win-loss percentage, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ever go by last year's win-loss percentage, but you also have to look at how these games lay out. All right, so you play Baltimore in Baltimore. That's a tough spot. It's on Monday Night Football. Look at what they have on both sides. Home game with Chicago, home game with Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Kansas City. You get Kansas City in a Sunday night game, but you don't play Tampa Bay for 8 days because that's a Monday night game, and you have a bye week on the other side. You get Washington and Philadelphia right against each other. That's not great. You got Minnesota and the Giants on both sides of it. I always like seeing, I call them breather games. I hate seeing teams play 3 games in a row against really high-level competition. I don't think Detroit does that at any point in this season. They can play 3 good teams,
mm-hmm.
but they never play 3 elite teams in a row that are in their weight class because I think Detroit's a borderline elite team.
Yes.
I think the elite teams in the NFL are the high side of the AFC, however you want to phrase that, whether you want to add Houston into it or not. The 3 elite teams in the NFC are the Lions, Commanders, and Eagles. And, yeah, they have to play them all. But even if you were to lose every single game against an elite team, I'd still think this team was going 10-7. And, yeah, that would be a step back. That would be a step back, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not as drastic as I thought. And, so, look, I'll admit when I was wrong. I have said all season long, I am scared to death of Detroit. The schedule was truth serum. I'm not as scared as I think I am.
Losing the coaches, obviously, is not a great situation to be in. What was it, 7 assistant coaches that they lost? off of that entire staff. It was a bunch. Lost, obviously, both of the big coordinators to head coaching jobs. One of them going to a rival. With Ben Johnson leaving, I mean, I don't think you can expect record-breaking offense immediately. But the talent is still there, and they're still going to be able to win a lot of games. And they're still going to have that Dan Campbell magic. And when you have that much talent, that's almost all you need, in my opinion, to be a really good team in the NFC. You're going to have to step it up to be elite because you're still chasing down the Eagles and the Commanders. The Rams are going to be up there as well in that weight class. You'll have a chance to prove it out against some of the best teams in the AFC. I'm really looking forward to that. I mean, that first 7 weeks of their season is going to be just have to tune in.
I mean, they're playing a lot of game of the week games, which is evidenced by the fact they're playing in prime time, 3 times?
Right.
They're playing standalone games twice?
Right. You start out with 2 rivalry games right off the bat. Baltimore, Cincinnati, Kansas City, and Tampa Bay, all before the bye. That's not going to be an easy stretch. If you can come out of that looking rosy, then the rest of the season is probably going to end up with you being at the top of this division. More predictions coming up next here in the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville on Prediction Week. Coming up after the break, we will get into the AFC North. And the battle at the top of that one is going to be interesting to watch again. Will it be Baltimore again? I think we all know how Flostradamus is going to do it, but we'll see when we come back here on ESPN Asheville.
ESPN Asheville.
Clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
We flipped it around now. The wet weather from overnight well east of us, the front through, low humidity, a little bit of a breeze.
I got to go get my mid-show snack. I got, 5 minutes?
Yeah.
10 for
55,
I'll be back.
Mainly clear. We'll keep that breeze around. Thursday, breezy sunshine, clouds, and maybe a thunder shower. Really not expecting all-day rain, if even a lot at all. And then Friday, sun's back, and we're even cooler. Highs will only be in the mid-60s with lows in the low to mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
Wondering what a personal message with your credit card number has in common with way too many pictures of your dog? Well, they're both private. Because on WhatsApp, your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even us. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone.
Bonus bucks. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here
on ESPN Asheville.
Looking for a rewarding career with stability and purpose? The NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring correctional officers statewide with a $10,000 sign-on bonus, competitive pay, and benefits. Visit dac.nc.gov/cojobs.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detail. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
Don't postpone better sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale now. Upgrade to a premium bed from a curated selection and take your rest to the next level. Don't miss out. Visit Mattress Firm.
Hey, if you're listening to me right now, I have one thing every business needs most: attention. Think about it. We swipe and scroll past stuff all day. But when we're driving, cooking, and working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
May is National Stroke Awareness Month. Stroke is a leading cause of death, but many strokes are preventable. Knowing the warning signs, face drooping, arm weakness, or slurred speech. If you see any of those signs, call 911 immediately. Talk to your doctor about your risk and take steps now. Eat well, stay active, and monitor your blood pressure and cholesterol. Learn more and take our free stroke health risk assessment at myhaywoodregional.com. I'm Mark Starling, and this Medical Minute brought to you by Haywood Regional Medical Center.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes, like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Nominate your community hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shop.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, cash. That's cash. Enter it now.
Go to espnavl.com to play, and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio,
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
the Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog eat! Let him on the field!
Come get you some this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We're also heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app and seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. Once you're subscribed, then that means you can get into the chat with us. It's the best way to immediately get in contact with the program. We are wrapping up another day here on Prediction Week in the Sportsocracy. Each and every division after the schedule came out, deep diving in with Flostradamus Jeremy Green, who's joining us live from the NFLDraft.net Mullet Manor.
Which from here on out will be endorsed by Clausen Pickles. This is just your daily reminder that the Clausen Pickle is the Rolls Royce of the pickle game.
You're obsessed, sir.
And I didn't want him to pay me. I just want him to send me. I want him to send me a pallet of the little minis, and I'll be the happiest guy in the world.
The minute, like the little tiny, like gherkin.
Oh yeah.
Type.
They're never heated, so they don't get mushy.
Mm-hmm.
Got a nice little crisp when you bite into it.
Are they the sweet ones?
No, they're dill.
Or just dill.
Yeah. I've never understood why anybody eats sweet pickles.
Well, because our souls aren't tainted, and we like the taste.
I don't need a sugary nonsense pickle. I need a dill, the little anger behind it.
Right.
That is
Makes all the sense in the world.
That is as I like to call it, a smirking gherkin.
Yeah. Anyhow, back into the prediction week here in the Sportsocracy.
If this first team takes more than 15 seconds, I think we did it wrong.
We're covering each and every division, and today the North divisions. The last place team in the AFC North for 2025 will be
the Fighting Kenny Pickett's.
The Cleveland Browns. Yes.
Woo. Woo.
That's one of those where I got done with it, and I went, oh, crap, they can't be 0-17. How in the hell am I going to find wins for these guys?
What's your final record on Cleveland?
I got them to 3-14.
That's exactly what I have them at. The 3 wins were against who?
I got them getting the Steelers at the end of the season at home.
Mm-hmm.
I got them getting the Titans at home.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dolphins at home. Week 7.
I have them beating the Jets on the road, the Dolphins in Week 7, and Tennessee in Week 14.
Okay.
Not good. Not good.
And the fact that you don't, I mean, you didn't do anything to make me feel better about this team. Like I thought you were. The draft started out really well. And then you went and boo-boo kittied, and you created controversy where you needed no controversy.
Is there controversy though? Is it 100%. Really controversy?
Yes.
No. Okay. This is all right. So Cleveland's going to take longer than 15 seconds because Tank said something that I have to clarify. Where is the controversy coming from?
From the media.
Okay. What control does the media have over this team?
Nothing.
Less than 0. Kevin Stefanski gets fired if this doesn't go well, and he takes Andrew Berry with him.
Uh-huh.
So you can talk about Shedeur Sanders until you're blue in the face. They've already answered this question for you. They'll answer it again when the official depth chart comes out. Dylan Gabriel will be ahead of Shedeur Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you anything you want. I don't care what it is.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I have learned, being now directly involved in the NFL for the last handful of years, we covered it for a long time. Now I'm at every single event. Tank's at most of them with me. You can attest what I'm getting ready to say because I know it's been said in your presence multiple times. We don't give a rat's keister what any of you think. That goes for fans. That goes for media. That goes for anybody that could create a controversy. Mm. The only controversy in Cleveland is, do we have a quarterback or not? Until this team's dead and buried, that's a fight between Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco. Now, after that bye week, okay, you chuck Shedeur out there, you chuck Dylan Gabriel out there, you can chuck the dog out there for all I care. It doesn't really matter.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Cleveland Browns start the season what? They play 8 games before the bye week. How many of them you got? How many do you have them winning?
1.
Okay, they'll be 1-7 going into the bye week. Everybody's fired anyway. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what Shedeur Sanders does. Doesn't matter what Dylan Gabriel does. Mm-hmm. This team is going to get completely washed clean in the offseason. So the Shedeur Sanders thing just doesn't matter. Okay, he gets out there. Whoop-de-doo. If he's good, then maybe the next coach will consider him. If he's not, he's probably not going to be on the roster.
Oh my God! Can I just do this real quick?
Who's gonna break the news?
Uh-oh.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
All right, I'm gonna try to read this without losing my composure here.
I'm scared. But I have no idea what you're about to say.
I just got notification that News Radio 570 WWNC has been awarded the Edward R. Murrow Award for continuing coverage. If you don't know what an Edward R. Murrow Award is, that's like winning an Oscar.
Good for you guys. I'm glad you explained that because I had no idea what you're talking about.
So, yeah. All right. Thank you for thank you for that. I wanted to explain why I've completely lost all train of my thought there. Never in my broadcasting career had I ever thought that I would be a part of a Edward R. Murrow Award, but I am truly humbled.
Now here's the thing. I do have a question. Does it come? It comes with the statue, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Okay. Do all of us get a statue? Because if we do, I'm wearing mine around my neck. So.
And this is why we don't invite Jeremy to the awards ceremony.
Oh shoot! I will bring a big old. I'll bring a big gold chain like Flavor Flav, just wear it around my neck.
Wow. All right. So,
congratulations. I'm making jokes, but congratulations. Well deserved. I am at this point not surprised when I find out you guys win anything. Because you deserve it.
This is just a qualifier here. This is a regional Edward R. Murrow Award. The national Edward R. Murrow Award for our category will be given out in October. So pretty big stuff. Pretty big stuff.
Congratulations, Stank. Well deserved. That was, and it was the perfect time for that to come down because, frankly, I was tired of talking about the Browns.
Yeah, they are terrible, and they will not be winning any awards other than a Razzie.
But we will allow them in their orange and brown to look at Tank's award, and that is nice.
Yes, I will invite Myles Garrett. He can come over and look at my award if he would like to. The rest of you can stay home. I don't. I think he's the only player on that team that I actually like now. Now that Nick Chubb's gone. Cleveland's going to be terrible. Like I said, when I went through it the first time, I did not end up with them at 0-17 on the first run. They were 1-16. And I had to go back and go, okay, that's not going to happen.
If a team in the NFL went 0-17 this year, I would bet on Cleveland.
Yes. I would agree with that as well. All right. The next team in line has to be
the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay, good.
I don't think our records are going to be close to each other though.
Are they going to make it to the 9-8 mark? Do they continue the streak?
I want you to tell me what their record for you was, and then I'll tell you their record for me.
6-11.
Missed it by that much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have them 10-7.
Really? Okay.
Just walk through the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
They play the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be a win. They play the Vikings. That's going to be a win. And I'm skipping any of them that I think are even debatable.
Mm-hmm.
They play the Browns. That's going to be 2 wins. They play the Colts. That's going to be a win.
Mm-hmm.
They play the Chicago Bears. That's going to be a win. I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm at 6
That's
already.
6, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Then look at how many toss-up games they have. Because I think the Seattle game is a toss-up, and it's in Pittsburgh. The New England game is a toss-up because that's still really early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
And I like New England. I said that yesterday. Said it multiple times. I really like New England. I like them more towards the end of the year than the beginning because you're still sorting so many things out early. And that Pittsburgh defense, I think, is going to be pretty good. Cincinnati's a toss-up game. The Packers are a toss-up game. The other game with Cincinnati is a toss-up game. By the way, I think I forgot the Dolphins. I didn't put them in the that's 7.
Mm-hmm.
They only have to win. The reason that I know that's because I looked at my notes. They only have to win 3 toss-up games to finish 7-10. Or to finish 10-7, excuse me. And I think they with Aaron Rodgers, I think that team's going to be what they were before. Because Aaron Rodgers is an improvement over Russell Wilson. Fact or fiction.
You at? Where are you at with that? Is that happening?
Last report I heard was that they've gotten verbal agreement done with him. That was from Sporting News like 3 days ago.
See, I can't look at this team with any of those toss-up games and go, you're going to win those, until I know that that's happening. Until I know that Aaron Rodgers is not just going to, sit out or whatever.
Oh, see, I'm looking at it the opposite way. I'm looking at it the opposite way. I can't look at this as Aaron Rodgers is not going to be the quarterback of this team until he slams the door on it, and okay. I don't care if that's slammed in week 9.
You're going the other place. Okay, the other way with it.
I can't see it any other way because I can't figure out how a team would not address quarterback at all. No, it's because they know Aaron's coming. He's wanting to do it on his terms. He doesn't want to be on the roster when the OTAs and things happen, so nobody can give him flack for not showing up. That's where it's at. I firmly believe it. And there will be a random Tuesday in the next month, probably when we're off, because that tends to be when things like this break, and Aaron Rodgers will sign with Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he'll be better than he was with the Jets. Randy L. in our YouTube chat said, Rodgers returns, Steelers go 8-9, lose to both the Packers and the Jets, and he retires. Yep. As a Jets fan, I'd be totally fine with that. But I don't think that's how that's going to go.
Yeah. I'm not wild about the team.
Okay, what are you not wild about?
Especially you don't have the okay.
Take the quarterback position out of it. What are you not wild about?
Well, I can't take the quarterback position out of it. That's a huge part of it.
Well, that's
the running back
that's
situation,
the question I asked you. So you
right. The running back situation. Okay, I mean that's you got some guys
better or worse than it was last year.
I got Caleb Johnson, so it could be. It could be better.
Is it better or worse than it was last year? See, I'm trying to walk you into saying worse, and you can't because it's not.
I feel like it's a wash.
Exactly. Wide receiver room, better or worse than it was last year? Weird. What's that word you just said? It's a wash. Okay, so that's a wash. Offensive line, better or worse than it was last year? I'll say better, just because these guys are all young and they're getting better as time goes on.
Is it? I don't know.
Well, there's no more Dan Moore playing left tackle, so for me, that's a win regardless.
Defense. You didn't like Broderick Jones either.
No, I liked Broderick Jones. He was super young, and he didn't play particularly well on the right side. But now you got Troy Fautano out there.
Right.
I mean, look, you've invested a lot in the offensive line. They've done a good job at that over the years. I think it'll be fine. The defense with Darius Slay, that's better than any corner you had last year. Yeah. It's a wash. I just keep going down this path of it's a wash. And then when I add Aaron Rodgers to it, Aaron Rodgers is light years better than Russell Wilson.
Is he?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, as somebody that watched him destroy my franchise, yes, he is light years better. When Aaron actually has time, he was fine. The problem is with the Jets, every team in the NFL figured out just blitz the bejesus out of him. You can't really do that with Pittsburgh because they do play so much 12, and they can just bring in Darnell Washington, who's basically an extra offensive lineman. Pat Freiermuth, a plus blocker for a receiving first guy. Cool. You want to send blitzers at me? Awesome. That means you're going to leave your wide receiver one-on-one with DK Metcalf, and good luck. Because this dude can still throw it in a bucket off his back foot when he has time. Pittsburgh makes way more sense for Aaron Rodgers than the Jets ever did. The reason he's coming back, and yes, I do firmly believe. Right now, I'm not to the bet your house on it point because he's still a kooky Madookie, and he could talk to, I don't know, a dog while he's high on ayahuasca that tells him not to come back because the forefathers don't want him to, and he could change his mind.
Right.
But I don't believe an NFL team's going into a season with Mason Rudolph and Will Howard as their quarterback options. I don't buy it. I've never bought it. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Regardless, I don't think it's going to be a good team either way. Even if you have Aaron Rodgers, okay, so we might get to 9-8. I don't think they're going to be that good.
All right, so just genuinely honest.
Yes.
And who are the games on that schedule that you know definitively they're going to lose?
Oh.
Bet your house on it games.
Let's see. I would go.
And before you say Baltimore twice, I need you to understand they've split that series every year for like 9 of the last 10.
Yeah. I would go Cincinnati.
You'd bet your house on them losing to Cincinnati?
Yes.
You don't
At
like
least
your
one
house.
game? Yeah.
Okay, that's not what you phrased that poorly.
No,
Losing one of them, okay.
They're going to lose one of them. Right. Like, I'm not saying they're going to sweep them. Obviously not.
I
'cause
was
weird
more
things
talking
can
about
happen.
go up and down the schedule and pick me a date that you know definitively they're going to lose.
A date they're going to lose. Week 13 against the Bills.
And then?
I will give you week 14 in Buffalo. Or in Baltimore, excuse me.
They beat them in Baltimore last year, just so you know.
In Detroit.
That's 3.
Week 16.
You got
I'll give
3.
that one. Mm-hmm.
You got 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's where I got to, is I've got 3. And then I look up and down the schedule and I see a whole lot of Justin Fields, Mike McDonald, Drake May, Cleveland Browns, Jordan Love, Anthony Richardson, Caleb Williams, Tua Tagovailoa, and yes, I did mix some coaches and some. It's a bunch of things I don't trust.
You're just a bunch.
And
of
I've watched the
what-ifs.
Steelers do this 58,000 times, and I don't think this team is significantly worse than any of the other ones were. I've seen them do
I'm
this
rooting for it.
for 14 years with Mike Tomlin, and guess what? They're going to find a way to do it again.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make a lick of sense, and they're going to find a way to do it again. Now, the difference for me this year is that 10-7, they do not make the playoffs.
Well, at least there's that.
They are the first
At
team
least you're
out
saving us from
of
that.
the playoffs.
They are far from the first team out of the playoffs for me.
God, who in the AFC do you have ahead of them? I'll give you the 2 teams in the AFC West. I'm talking about non-playoff teams. Who do you have ahead of them?
The Raiders and the Patriots.
Okay, I have the Patriots in the play. Wait a minute.
What?
I don't think I asked this question, but now I'm curious. Who are the 7 playoff teams you have in the AFC?
Kansas City, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Houston, Baltimore, Los Angeles Chargers, and the Denver Broncos.
Oh, okay. That's a team we disagree on a lot.
On the Denver Broncos?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You looked at that schedule and you did not see the same thing I did. Denver is probably the team I've been looking the most forward to because I gave you every winnable game and you still didn't make the playoffs. And I did it on purpose. Yeah, we didn't see Denver the same way. But what was their record, just out of curiosity?
9-8.
Okay. So we see the AFC differently. We don't see Denver all that differently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's 9-8 was good enough for the 7th team to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't have a 9-8 team really sniffing the playoffs.
Right.
Because they all lose the tiebreaker to the 10-7 teams. So, yeah, I've got Pittsburgh as the first team out at 10-7. They lose tiebreaker to Cincinnati because they lost to them twice.
All right. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens fighting for supremacy at the top of the AFC North. You'll probably bet my house to tell you which one's coming up next here on 92.9. Stick with us.
Don't miss the Cold Mountain Music Festival at beautiful Lake Logan in Canton.
Claire.
Yeah, we got down that page, and I went, who in the world is your 7th playoff team?
Featuring Darren Nicholson, Denisha, Fancy and the Gentleman, The Last Rebel, and American Aquarium. Proceeds support the programs of Lake Logan, Camp Henry, and the Outdoor School. And for every ticket purchased, Lake Logan will donate $1 to support this year's participating jam musicians. General admission and camping tickets on sale now at coldmountainmusic.org.
I lived on a commercial salmon fishing boat in Alaska, and I genuinely think that was the first time I've ever felt myself kind of like slipping mentally. I think Alaska does weird things to people.
If you're interested in hearing anonymous callers like this tell stories from their lives,
check out my podcast, Therapy Gecko. You can listen to Therapy Gecko on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Therapy Gecko and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
The iHeartRadio app now has presets, just like in the car. You're our #1. Make us yours. ESPN Asheville, the Mountain's favorite sports station, streaming 24/7. Your home for the Sportsocracy. Weekdays at noon. The Tar Heels and Atlanta Braves baseball.
I'm Coley Duffy.
I'm Cody Ward.
I heard nothing of that promo.
Actually, we're cousins.
Other than if you want to hear people tell stories from their life, listen to my podcast, and the only reaction I had was, I don't want to do any of that.
So I called my dad to borrow a chainsaw, and over the next
I don't, in any circumstances, want to hear people tell stories from their
Our
life.
business was born out of wanting to help Western North Carolina get back on our feet.
We are fully insured and licensed. We keep our promises, meaning if we say we're going to be there, we'll be there. In these parts, we live how we were raised.
When you call the Chainsaw Brothers, you're not a customer, you're family. We're good at what we do, and we do it for a reasonable cost.
For all your chainsaw needs, call the Chainsaw Brothers. 828-316-1013. Or find us on Facebook. See how we treat our family.
Are you still covered up with storm damage and debris?
Call us about our daily rates at 828-316-1013. That's 828-316-1013. We're the Chainsaw Brothers, and with our neighbors, we are Western North Carolina strong.
Woohoo!
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
Welcome to the Ingalls Table, a delicious destination with recipes galore.
Oh, we're watching the congratulations emails now.
Tray, side dish? No problem. The experts from the Ingalls Table take you through it step by step, with expert tips and advice along the way. Find the Ingalls Table at ingalls-markets.com or swing by the store and pick up your free copy of the Ingalls Table magazine. And let's get cooking. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy. It's ESPN Asheville. Our coverage of the prediction week rolls on here. In the AFC North, we got two teams at the top, Cincinnati and Baltimore. I guess my question for you, Jeremy, is how close does Cincinnati come to Baltimore this year? Since you've already told us that Baltimore is your champion, I'm assuming you have them as the champion of the division.
I do. How close does Cincinnati? Sorry, I had to put a fat baby over you because you let your computer die for the, 40th time in 2 months.
No, it didn't.
Oh, well, then you're just frozen because your internet in that building is I'm convinced there's a mouse somewhere in that building that's just connecting wires, and that's how the internet in that building works.
I'll refresh it and see what I do.
I have Cincinnati at 10-7 as well. They are the 7th playoff team that Pittsburgh loses out to.
Okay.
I don't know. Look, I like Cincinnati. I love Joe Burrow. I'm kind of at the same spot with Cincinnati that I was with Pittsburgh, just on the not good side. I want Cincinnati to be better.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cincinnati offensively is better. Do you feel greatly better about their defense?
No.
Neither do I. I still look at it and go, if Trey Hendrickson just tells you to pound sand and demands a trade out of there, you don't have a soul on that team that I think can get after a quarterback.
Not right away. Anyway.
I love Demetrius Knight, but I'm not 100% sure where he's going to play. And then the secondary still doesn't do much for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's a team every year that goes into the draft and they just have the most nondescript, didn't actually help squat class. And I feel like this year it was Cincinnati. Shamar Stewart, I hate that fit for him.
Why?
Because I feel like they're going to ask him to play on the outside, and that's not where I wanted him. I said this routinely. I don't like Shamar Stewart as a natural end-of-the-line 4-3 defensive end. I don't think it's what he is. He's too big. And, yes, he's got the speed. That's fine. There's a reason you don't see edge rushers that are that big. Because they don't have the burst out of the stance, and you get really good, really physical offensive tackles that can just handle them. Mm-hmm. I liked him splitting guards and tackles as a 3-4 defensive end. I think he's more defensive tackle than he is edge rusher. And I look at a lot of these guys, Shamar Stewart, Chris Jenkins, Miles Murphy, now Demetrius Knight, who I absolutely love. That's gangsta granddaddy himself. I don't know where he plays. I mean, who does he sit down? Pratt, Wilson, or Oren Burks? Because I don't think it's any of the three of them.
Right. I want to believe. I want to believe in the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm still stuck on, what was that, 3 years ago? Was it 3 years ago that they made the Super Bowl? Or 4 now? Feels like it's been a great while. And I want to believe that they can still be that team. I know they're going to be elite offensively. How many shootouts can they win? And can they avoid starting the season terribly? Because I feel like that's been their big problem for a while. We dug ourselves into a hole in the first 5 weeks of the season that we never could get out of. Now, I feel like this year they have probably one of the most advantageous schedules to begin with that they possibly could have gotten.
Okay.
You start out against the Cleveland Browns, then you got the Jacksonville Jaguars after that, Minnesota Vikings, Denver Broncos. I mean, those are all teams that I feel like you should beat, at least offensively.
Mm-hmm. I agree with everything you just said.
And I'm not really scared of any of those teams offensively.
Mm-hmm.
You got a piece from Minnesota that I'm scared of, and Justin Jefferson, but that's the third week of J.J. McCarthy.
I agree with everything you just said.
That's all advantageous for you to start out really well.
Yep. All right. They started out 4-0 for me. I'll just be 100% honest with you, and that's 3 games on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And then Detroit at Green Bay, Pittsburgh, the Jets, Chicago. You will lose at least 2 of those games. I had you losing 3 of them.
Because the defense is so bad?
Because the defense is terrible. See, that's where I break into you open up the opportunity for a team like the Jets to beat you, or a team like the Bears to beat you, or a team like Pittsburgh to beat you. Mm-hmm. Because you're going to make mediocre offenses look really good. And I think Joe's going to be able to outscore them. But what if they have a Sauce Gardner, or they have a Jalen Johnson, or they have even to a lesser extent, Darius Slay, or a Jair Alexander? What now?
Mm-hmm.
If you've got somebody that can handle T. Higgins or slow down Jamar Chase, what then? And that scares me. But that's not even the part. I've got Cincinnati at 7-2 going into the bye week. And then comes the last 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
And it is evil. You play 2 teams in the last 8 that I don't have either making the playoffs or right on the doorstep of it.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing that would scare me. Every single one of them has a really good defense. Pittsburgh, New England, Baltimore twice, Buffalo, Arizona, all have really good defenses.
Mm-hmm. Is Arizona really good defense?
I think they will be. I'm projecting there.
Okay.
It's hard for me to look at a team that signed one of my favorite free agents. They added one of my favorite players in the draft. They added another one of my favorite players in the draft, and me look at the defense and go, nope, they're going to be terrible again.
I'm not arguing. I'm just I'm not sure yet.
Oh, I wasn't saying you were arguing. I was trying to explain my stance on it.
I just wanted to make that clear. I wasn't saying that they're going to be bad. Are they in that area yet? Okay.
I think Arizona can be a top 10 defense in the NFL, but we're going to talk about them tomorrow.
Right.
I like Cincinnati. I'm at the point with Cincinnati that I thought I was going to be with Detroit. Because I was going to look at the schedule and go, this is where I realize I don't love you as much as I thought I did. Now, with Detroit, I didn't do that. With Cincinnati, I did, because I kept looking at these games going, Pittsburgh. Are they going to beat Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. It's in Pittsburgh. Are they going to beat Drake May in New England? Because I think that team can shoot out with you, and their defense is better than you. Are you going to beat Lamar Jackson in one of those two games? Are you going to beat Kyler Murray? Because I just kept looking at these games going, my God, that team can score 40 points on you. And it is a lot to ask a team, especially a quarterback that's been hit as many times as Joe Burrow. It's a lot to ask of them to score 40 points a week. And I think that's exactly what you're doing.
Yep.
Also, Ben Whitley has a really good point, and he beat me to it. Cincinnati never starts hot.
No.
Do we really think they're going to be 7-2 to start? That's another thing that kept hanging me up with Cincinnati is this team starts pitifully every single year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, last year they were 1-4. Year before that they were 1-3. 2022 they were 2-3?
Something like that.
It's hard for me to trust. And I want to, because I want Joe Burrow to have that year. I want Joe Burrow to be the MVP of the damn league. That's what I want. I just don't think this is the team to do it. I don't think this is the team to do it. I don't think this is the coach to do it.
Mm-hmm. Can they protect Joe Burrow? And can they play defense? Those are two major questions about a team that, well, if you just looked at their weapons and their quarterback, you'd say, well, this has got to be one of the best teams in the entire league. But it doesn't seem to go that way. Cincinnati, I got them at 11-6, but I'm hopeful. That's a hopeful 11-6.
Oh, by the I've got them at 10-7, and that's a hopeful 10-7.
Mm-hmm.
I had this stat up on my screen, and I've been trying to find a reason to get it back in there, and I found one. How many times has Joe Burrow been sacked in the last 2 years?
In the last 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
I'll go 68.
Man, you were really close on that one. 72. Ooh. How many times has Josh Allen been sacked in the last 3 years?
58.
71.
Oh.
How many times was Caleb Williams sacked last year?
67.
68. Just trying to prove a point from earlier today. I've been trying to find a reason to get that in, and you gave me one with Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow gets hit all the time. Joe Burrow gets hit at 70% the rate that Caleb Williams does.
Mm-hmm. Cincinnati Bengals. Hopefully it's not another disappointing year for Bengals fans. But how is it hard? I mean, it's hard not to be when you're in such a tough division and your team continues to have so many holes. Hopefully some of the rookies will step up this year, and it'll work out for you. When we return. Yeah.
Okay, we'll do it when we come back. We have breaking news when we come back.
Oh, breaking news when we come back right here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 of the Sportsocracy, coming to you from the Ingalls studio.
ESPN Asheville.
And we're clear.
Your mountain weather forecast.
We flipped it around now. The wet weather from overnight well east of us, the front through, low humidity. A little bit of a breeze this afternoon, but gorgeous. Beautiful blue sky and comfortable, close to 80. Tonight, 55, mainly clear. We'll keep that breeze around. Thursday, breezy sunshine, clouds, and maybe a shower, thunder shower. Really not expecting all-day rain. If even a lot at all. And then Friday, sun's back, and we're even cooler. Highs will only be in the mid-60s with lows in the low to mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stejik from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. Don't postpone better sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale now. Upgrade to a premium bed from a curated selection and take your rest to the next level. Don't miss out. Visit Mattress Firm today. Get matched. Sleep at night.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Oh, wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
Grab your shades, your flip-flops, and your free iHeartRadio app for the start of summer 2025. No matter where you go this summer, your favorite radio station, the music you love, and the best podcasts in the world will be along for the adventure. Make sure you have the free iHeartRadio app in your phone today.
Buying or selling a home doesn't have to be stressful. Let me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your local real estate expert, guide you every step of the way. Whether you're searching for your dream home, looking to sell quickly, or exploring investment opportunities, I've got the experience and the tools to get you the best deal possible. Call me, Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty at 828-774-6343. Let's make your real estate dreams a reality. I'm your trusted realtor. I'm making moves and making dreams come true.
Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in Asheville has 2 things that all Sportsocracy fans crave: bold flavors and big portions. Oh, yeah, and they've got the balls. Bear's famous bear balls are packed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, cornbread, and deep fried and then topped with bacon and cheese sauce. This is the place to be. Live music on Saturdays and the first Sunday of every month. They partner with the Guitar Bar to host Mr. Jimmy's Barbecue Blues. Bear Smokehouse Barbecue in downtown Asheville and South Asheville.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville, introducing you to this month's Parks Community.
Did my camera come back up?
Short, and the entire team at Silver Brothers, who converted their music venue in Black Mountain into a donation and distribution zone in the Helene. Corey and his team founded Valley Strong Disaster Relief, dedicated to providing essential support to our neighbors in need. Nominate your Parks Community Hero at parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Kai?
It is ESPN Asheville. We are the Sportsocracy on a prediction week, going through each and every division of the NFL, wrapping up today with the AFC North. Thank you. Tomorrow, we will wrap it all up with the West predictions, AFC and NFC West, before we take a nice little weekend for the Memorial Day holiday. Hope you get to do the same this weekend. If you don't have any plans, by the way, for Saturday, go over to the Facebook, check out the ESPN Asheville Facebook page. Not the new ESPN Asheville, ESPN Asheville. We've shared it out on our socials, personally and through the Sportsocracy show. And weigh in, tell us who your Braves Mount Rushmore is, and we're going to pick 2 winners. And we got a pair of tickets going out to each of those winners for the Braves-Padres game on Saturday in Atlanta. So head on over to the Facebook page, share it out with your friends as well. Tell your entire family that they need to go and follow the page and interact and increase your chances that you could be going to see the Bravos this weekend. Of course, you can hear them every game right here on ESPN Asheville. Jeremy, We have breaking news, I understand.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
We officially have our teams for Hard Knocks.
Oh, teams. Okay.
The off-season Hard Knocks, which goes through camp, will feature the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
What's your first response to that?
Yay.
That's exactly what I did.
What's the drama there?
Hey, how often are we going to put Josh Allen's girlfriend in that? Because if she ain't in it, there's not a whole lot I care about there.
He's married now, isn't he? Didn't they get married?
No, I think he got engaged.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Still with that Haley Steinfeld girl. Right?
Yes, and they may have gotten married. I know they got engaged because I made a joke of you got the damn I screwed up ring right off the jump, which means the I screwed up ring is going to be the size of my watch. The in-season Hard Knocks will feature the NFC East. It's all the teams of the NFC East.
Okay.
And that will debut in December.
I enjoyed the AFC North thing that they had, what was that, throughout the season last year. That was pretty cool. So doing all the teams, that'd be fun. By the way, there are rumors that Josh Allen and Haley Steinfeld will be getting married next week.
Well, maybe they'll do a joint wedding with Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson. That'd be cute.
Actually, this weekend on Sunday. They're rumored to be getting.
I didn't get to tell my Bill Belichick Jordan Hudson story, so I'll let's see if I can combine it into one word. Jeremy looks directly at camera, addressed to Bill Belichick. Run!
Oh, she's gonna burn it to the ground.
I guarantee my wife is like, what was that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I heard that one echo.
It did.
It echoed in the subcockles of that microphone.
I think that hit the television in my office and shook it.
Never, ever, ever has there been bigger red flags about a relationship.
I actually think that, I don't know if you knew this or not, Jordan Hudson is an old Anglo-Saxon word for run.
Oh, good night. Did you read the article about her tanking the Hard Knocks deal?
I did, yes.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous.
I also heard about her getting in a fight with Bill's ex-girlfriend on Martha's Vineyard, but I'm going to tell that story eventually, so we'll save it.
Okay. All right, let's do our final prediction here for the AFC North. The Baltimore Ravens, you say it's their year.
I think it is. I'm looking around going, who am I really, honest to God, scared of in the AFC? I think Buffalo's the same as they were, if not maybe a little worse.
Mm-hmm.
I think New England's up and coming, but it's still early. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, Houston, I think Houston will improve. But I also think they're young, and I think it's a little early. I think Kansas City's not as good as they were. The Chargers are probably the team I would be the most afraid of taking the jump. But I look at Baltimore and go, you know what? This is a well-run organization, and at some point you're going to have that year, and I think that year is this year. I have them 12-5 as they are the 2-3 seed in the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
What did you have their record at?
13-4. They lose to Buffalo on the road. They lose to the Chiefs on the road. They lose to the Bengals on the road. Where was the other one? Oh, they got in Pittsburgh.
I had them losing a game to Pittsburgh because they lose one every year.
Yes.
The only thing about Baltimore, and I think this really needs to be discussed, I don't think I've ever seen a team this good with a schedule that bad after the bye week. I mean, Chicago, Miami, Cleveland, the Jets. I'm not overly worried about – you had them losing one in Cincinnati. I'll go ahead and tell you I didn't. Pittsburgh, that one's in Baltimore. New England in Baltimore. Yeah, you got to go to Green Bay. You got to go to Pittsburgh. Woo. By the time they play that game with Pittsburgh, it doesn't matter.
No. More than likely at that point, not much is on the line there.
I mean, Stephen Tao said it in our YouTube chat. Get past the bye week, and that schedule's pretty cushy.
Mm-hmm. And you beat some of those good teams at the beginning of the season, then, I mean, I don't think there's really going to be anybody that you're contending with other than Kansas City and Buffalo. It doesn't change. Like, the top of the AFC feels like it's been the same for 10 years now.
I want this clarified that I liked Baltimore to I had Baltimore winning the Super Bowl this year before the schedule came out. Then the schedule came out, and all of their toughest games are before the bye week.
Mm-hmm.
So a Baltimore team that has had injury issues in the past, you play the toughest games on your schedule when you should be pretty well intact. You also play a soft back end of the schedule, which should keep you pretty intact going into the playoffs. I'm real high on Baltimore, and I might be too high. I get it. I know not a lot of things changed, but that defense should be evil.
Mm-hmm.
Evil.
Yeah, they're a fun team. I still wish you had another weapon, but I'm tired of complaining about it now.
Well, DeAndre Hopkins, adding DeAndre Hopkins didn't do anything for you?
I mean, historically speaking, it sounds better. I mean, he's better than Tylan Wallace. Yes, okay, you have an improvement. But is it good? I mean, I don't know. I feel like he's at the end.
He was
so
1,000-yard. He was a 1,000-yard receiver a year ago. Just remember that.
I get it.
Now, last year he went to a team mid-season that he had to learn the playbook. He had to get from it. Just I hate when teams trade for receivers mid-season. It virtually never works.
Right. I didn't say it wasn't better. I just don't know if is that the thing though? Is that all that's been missing? No, it's that intangible. It's that clutch factor. Right? You got to make sure that you can win the games late in the year when you're supposed to. And you haven't been able to get over that hump. Whether it's the Chiefs, whether it's the Bills, whether you stumble against the Titans or somebody. Like, it feels like there's always that one game that goes, oh, how did you do that? You were so close. How did you do that?
I just love how deep Baltimore is. And now that's a team I look at and go, I do too.
Mm-hmm.
They're so unbelievably deep, and so many of them are young guys that are just itching for a shot to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the best roster they've had. And I know that sounds crazy because they didn't do higher-level things. They protected themselves so much because there's not, outside of Lamar Jackson, there's not really one guy that could get hurt that just completely derails your year. I'm really high on this team, and they are my Super Bowl team.
Okay.
That's especially with what it's at right now, which I'm a big fan of.
Yep. Baltimore Ravens projected winner of the AFC North. Spicy take, I know.
Oh yeah, we're so far out on this limb. I hope it doesn't break underneath our substantial weight.
Indeed. Speaking of substantial weight, if you're looking to gain a little weight, that's a bad way to put that.
Terrible. How about you just start that over again and try again?
If you want to be a big, never mind. Look, you can fulfill your needs, your desires at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue. All of those fat guy desires that we have inside of us, you can satisfy all of that right at Bear's Smokehouse Barbecue, because they're in a single one of those little concoctions that you don't go, oh, my goodness, this is going to be just a culinary delight. Talking about the Pawpaw's poutine, the bear fries, the Mac Attack, the Bear Bowl, and, of course, the balls. The bear balls with the pulled pork and the cornbread, mac and cheese, deep fried, covered in cheese sauce, topped with bacon. You see how I got there. Like, okay, so it may not be the healthiest choice that you can make, but it is definitely going to be one that satisfies that hole in your soul. It's the best barbecue in town as far as we're concerned. It is the official barbecue of the Sportsocracy, and you can get it all. 2 locations, 135 Cox Avenue, South Slope in downtown Asheville, and in South Asheville, inside Sweeten Creek Brewing on Sweeten Creek Road. You will not be disappointed. That's one of those bet your house things on it. You will thank me. If you haven't tried it yet, what are you waiting for? Go to BearsBBQ.com. Coming up on tomorrow's program, we will have the final installment of Prediction Week. We'll talk AFC West, NFC West, and I almost hate that we got all the we got both the Wests in here. I feel like we're ending on a high note. There's a lot of drama between the two divisions. Do you agree?
I do to a point.
To a point.
There's a lot to like in those two divisions. I mean, frankly, the worst team between the 8 of them, I think, is the San Francisco 49ers. That should tell you something. There's no Cleveland Browns here. There's no any of that. So there is more drama than in many of the other divisions.
Yes, yes. There is a Las Vegas Raiders, though, and we'll fight about it tomorrow right here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400 back here at noon. We'll see you tomorrow.
ESPN Asheville.
All right, we're clear.
Thank you.
Your mountain weather forecast.
We flipped it around now. The wet weather from overnight well east of us to front through, low humidity. A little bit of a breeze this afternoon, but gorgeous. Beautiful blue sky and comfortable, close to 80. Tonight, 55, mainly clear. We'll keep that breeze around. Thursday, breezy sunshine, clouds, and maybe a shower, thunder shower. Really not expecting all-day rain, if even a lot at all. And then Friday, sun's back, and we're even cooler. Highs will only be in the mid-60s with lows in the low to mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel.
This report is sponsored by WhatsApp.
On WhatsApp, your personal messages stay private. So things like those selfies from last weekend's party stay between you and your bestie. Because on WhatsApp, your personal messages are yours. No one else can see or hear them, not even us. WhatsApp, message privately with everyone.
Bonus Bucks. Bonus Bucks. Once you win $1,000 in bonus bucks, you'll have more money to use on your fantasy leagues. Bonus Bucks. The winning happens every weekday, right here
on ESPN Asheville.
Looking for a career with stability and purpose? NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring correctional officers statewide with a $10,000 sign-on bonus, paid vacation, and benefits. Learn more. Visit dac.nc.gov/cojobs.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How do you spot the all-new Nissan Rogue Rock Creek? Here's a hint. It's got all-terrain tires, a tubular roof rack you can't miss, and it's tough inside and out with lava red detail. You'll also find it in its natural habitat, climbing mountains, attacking rugged trails, and never backing down from any adventure. The first ever Nissan Rogue Rock Creek.
Intelligent all-wheel drive cannot prevent collisions or provide enhanced traction in all conditions. Always monitor traffic and weather conditions. Always secure cargo. Heavy loading of the vehicle with cargo, especially on the roof, will affect the handling and stability of the vehicle.
postpone better sleep. Shop Mattress Firm's Memorial Day sale now. Upgrade to a premium bed from a curated selection and take your rest to the next level. Don't miss out. Visit Mattress Firm.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, we found out a lot of things about our community. We saw neighbors helping neighbors, and we learned in desperate times one of the best things to have around is a redneck with a chainsaw.
Not just a chainsaw, boy, just country boys in general. When you live in these mountains, you figure it out. Like, you make stuff happen.
After answering the calls for help that they heard on the radio, the Chainsaw Brothers are still here, making it happen the right way. Fair, insured, and local. Need tree help? Call the Chainsaw Brothers. 316-1013. 316-1013.
Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports have teamed up under a new local owner to serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Mountain Graphics and Showtime Sports can customize whatever you, your team, or your local group may need with high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. Visit mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com. That's mtngraphicsavl.com or showtimesportsavl.com for your local one-stop custom apparel shops.
Did you know Ingalls only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks community heroes. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the areas that were hardest hit in those first hours. Like Spencer, who helped build a bridge out of debris to rescue 7 families after the road was washed away. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Looking to buy or sell in Asheville? At Clarissa Sells WNC with eXp Realty, we're proud to be the #1 real estate team in Buncombe County. Give us a call, 828-774-6343. We're here for what matters most, you.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Ingalls studio, WPEK Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, W225CJ Candler, the #1 preset in your car, and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. Free never sounded so good.